I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
With the new format, I'm very excited.
Wow. I am excited too. This is great. You know, we're used to seeing you in your glory in your room, but we're not used to seeing people, you know, such as the fine specimen on the bottom of your screen, Towito. Towito, how are you doing today on this fine December Sunday, the 10th?
I'm doing good. I was really worried that putting the camera together would be a complicated process, and then I plugged in a USB and adjusted a thing, and suddenly my production value has skyrocketed, and my room is not messy. I just have a nice jacket, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, you got the bullet in the background.
Yeah. My girlfriend made it. It's a whole cross stitch.
Oh, that's
Oh, wow.
That's sick. That's awesome.
She made a huge ass cross stitch. Yeah. This is all like a whole thing. Mind you, it's super big. She's like really cool. Oh, yeah. But yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, how are you guys doing? What's the vibes looking like for y'all?
I mean, I recently learned what frauding was, so that's cool. But beyond that, I'm just the same old, you know, Tom Clancy, right? Just hanging out, having a good day. Excited for the bracket today, you know, as usual. Purist, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy that the cams seem to be working. I was a little worried, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't sure how it was gonna work, but it seems like it's doing well.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got some good uni down in the pipelines. Did
beyond that?
Go ahead.
Maturino codes. Sorry. On 3, we're gonna say Maturino codes. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Maturino
codes. We
All
were
right,
not
close
in
enough.
sync. Jesus Christ.
Please use the Maturino codes claim code button right there. If you do exclamation point Maturino in the chat, I was actually able to hack into the mainframe of the JPEG Mafia, and they said that if all the codes aren't used by the end of bracket today, they will corner the market on JPEGs made before 2009. So all the classic memes are going to be gone, and you know, it'll be like piracy, right? They'll control the supply, and we'll have to pay them an extra fee for those JPEGs. So I really appreciate it if you use the codes. I want my, you know, overly obsessed girlfriend, my socially awkward seal, and my Hank Hill JPEG, you know, meme templates to survive into the new year. That'd be great. So if you could do that, fantastic. Yeah. But getting into this match here, we've got Mr. B versus Boltstruck, Orie and Nanase. Now, these two characters, I don't want to say they're cheap, right? But they're definitely not the most expensive, if that makes sense. They're a nice, affordable budget option for the Under Night player, and the value is looking to be increased quite significantly in the next version. So invest now if you're interested in either of these characters. Even if you're not interested in these characters and you just want to win, you know, we're all about winning here at WASD. That's why the W's there. So, you know, pick one of these characters. It's more linear, neutral approaches from Nanase with the fireball. She just wants to set it down, follow behind it, kind of like Speed Racer. And then Mr. B's Orie is looking to kind of control the neutral space with thrust, kind of call out those fireball sets. So we're going to see how this goes, getting into the first match here. Oh, nice. Dash 2C. Very big button. Towito, is there an equivalent button in Blaze Blue that you think is like, yeah, I'm just going to press this whenever I want? Kind of thing?
There's a lot of those. Having played Bullet 2B is definitely kind of one of those, and Ragnar 5B in terms of new buttons that can kind of control a lot of neutral space here. We're seeing Boltstruck use it a little bit right now, but currently we've got Mr. B trying to mount their offense, getting the throw right here, trying to steal the cycle with the concentrate here, looking pretty even there. Ooh! And I really like the idea from Boltstruck right there, dashing in for the throw. I think it was a bit like clearer of a choice because the cycle was about to end and the throw would shift the grid completely differently right there.
Yeah.
No, all good. But yeah, just the way that Bolt kind of opted for that was pretty good there. But right now, ooh, okay, that was block thrust into, that was sword card right afterwards, no?
Yeah, that was sword card. That is one of the Abare buttons of all time. It's really fast, travels a fair distance in front of her. If she has meter to back it up, and she can make it safe even if one of the follow-ups is blocked. And there's kind of an RPS mind game behind that. Boltstruck taking the first round. Oh, gets grid broken. Really greedy on the field there. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty good chunk of damage, especially with meter to burn. Mr. B just wants to pile on the damage. Reposition, whiffs the throw there, which is a bit unfortunate. Shields the assault. Boltstruck learned his lesson, not going to get caught out a second time there. Going to maintain the screen positioning with that fireball ender. Good choice by him. Mr. B, though, kind of known for his timely VOs. It's just kind of completely shifts the momentum in his favor. Spends the meter for a 2-2C mix-up. Good block on the 6B from Boltstruck, and he's looking to maybe carry the rest of the round and the rest of the game if he burns meter here, and there you go. That's going to be a quick 2 rounds for Mr. Struck here. More like, I guess, Mr. B is Mr. Boltstruck, you know, because he got struck by the bolt of lightning there, like AC/DC in a form. 5B rounds. Man, this Nanase character has some insane buttons at her disposal. And 5B is definitely one of them. Just a big stop sign. Are they doing?
That was a big whiff purple shield right there for Mr. B briefly. I think that if I'm Boltstruck, I might be looking out for that a little bit more often in the next offensive interactions, especially with the ability to like kind of play around with fireball there. I think when people are a bit newer to the game, especially, it's very easy to be tempted to like see like, okay, there's a fireball. Oh, it's purple shield. Obviously, that's gonna hit me first, and the strike throw that kind of results from that is pretty interesting there. But if I'm Bolt, I'm gonna kind of mind the offense right there. I really like the fade back on the fireball there. Mr. B's been trying to challenge in a couple of spaces, but it looks like it's been difficult for him to find a place to like kind of challenge in a bit of a better way or find the right button to press in there. Like, Tom, do you know any specific gaps or usual spots in Nanase pressure where one might opt to kind of challenge or press?
So, one of the more obvious locations is after sword card is blocked, because if Nanase commits to one of the follow-ups that's just a big stab through, I believe it's the A follow-up, she's super minus. But if she delays it, then it's a pretty big counter hit, but then they have to be on that layer of, oh, I'm going to challenge this, you know, after the delayed A follow-up. And beyond that, she could do C follow-up under pressure. So that's one of the more obvious spots. But as far as the fireball mind game is concerned, as we're seeing right now, oh, Mr. B gets opened up by the overhead. Boltstruck really likes using the 2-1-4 series, the kind of air tornado,
right,
to really mess up with the defensive timings of his opponents. And we see that right there. And finishes the combo here. Has plenty of meter to go for another mix-up. Fadeaway fireball. Mr. B has the cycle here, and he's just unsure of what to do in that situation. I assume he was going to try to press like a 5A there to maybe take his turn back, but the air stall from Boltstruck just kind of threw off his timing a bit, and he was able to get the counter and close out the round.
And I think part of what makes that situation work for Boltstruck in particular, like just kind of seeing the fadeaway fireball there in particular, was that just like a knockdown ago, Boltstruck got their initial hit from doing the fade back fireball and getting that hit, right? They had been leaving just wide enough gaps that that Mr. B would attempt to try to punish them and then would get hit in kind due to the way that Boltstruck was positioning themselves. And when you've kind of enforced that on somebody, it makes them a lot more passive or a lot more hesitant, at least in their decision making, which allows you to do these like nutty kind of like tornadoes into really delayed dives to get hits and open up opponents, just because their timing gets thrown off when they're already feeling like they're on the back foot, especially with the feeling of the momentum of the set overall, when it's like, okay, this is for the set now, like, what am I going to do? I have to do something.
Yeah, that was a really fast-paced match in that Boltstruck just really increased the life differential to such a point where Mr. B had to guess for game multiple times. And he learned his lesson after eating a fade back fireball there, right? But like you said, Boltstruck using that as a conditioning tool to then go for more risky options like, you know, the air tornado into dive kick delay, right? And that paid off for him, and that he enforced that beforehand and then was able to pay it off. And because the sets went by so fast and the guess for game situations were present, it's just that much more difficult to get a handle on the situation itself for Mr. B, and Boltstruck kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, you know how like when you're teaching somebody like how a character functions when they're playing against them the first time, and you teach them a thing and then you immediately do the counterplay to whatever they're about to do about it.
Yeah,
it's the classical like, hey, this is a safe jump by the way, and then you throw them right afterwards.
Yeah.
It felt a bit like that in terms of the conditioning, but got a much different set. But kind of that aside, right? We can probably talk about that to death. But you know, we have some more matches coming up here today. And if I'm reading correctly, we do have Low versus Defiant here.
No, it's gonna be Low versus, I think, Kilimine.
Am I a liar?
I was waiting for the set to finish, and so I didn't have the set. I didn't have the second name in there, but it looks like DD and Kilimine just finished, so I think it's gonna be Low Kilimine, and then it'll be Boltstruck versus either Defi or Shadow Fox.
Gotcha.
Gonna be waiting a little bit for those gamers right here, but what we don't have to wait for is people like you and me sponsoring the stream by way of Matcherino code claiming. The JPEG Mafia still at large. We are working on triangulating their position in cyberspace, but we really do need those codes. They're kind of like crypto tokens, like Bitcoin, where, you know, each chain is immutable, and in so doing, the receipt of transactions through Matcherino codes will allow us to reverse engineer their position, and our retro encabulators are working around the clock overtime to allow us to save our JPEGs from the Mafia. So please use those codes. 39 codes remaining. Fantastic stuff. I really appreciate what you guys are doing for us. You know, I need my JPEGs, okay? But up next, we've got Hilda versus Linne, most likely. Yep. I am not too familiar with this matchup, Towito. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but my assumption is that Hilda's moves are very big, but they also have a lot of recovery frames. So if Kilimine is able to use Linne double jump and Linne roll to kind of call out those slower pokes from low, then he's going to be able to get in and start his really messed up Linne kind of RPS pressure with 6-6B, 5A into frame trapper throw. So it's really on who calls out who better as far as the neutral and offensive timings that the other person is going to go for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I think that at, like, I would say probably 3/4 range, some interesting stuff is probably going to happen. I don't know for sure, but I'm very curious to see what the interactions with Roll are in particular, due to certain dead zones in Hilda's moveset. Like, especially like 6-6C, right? Like, what is the interaction there between that high recovery 6-6C, or does Roll go under skew, so on and so forth? And how, of course, does Kilimine deal with low once they get their offense started and they're running 50-50s?
Yeah. Linne is definitely one of those characters that is, if you're good at making reads defensively, she is a very strong character. And we see Kilimine, trying to go for Helmbreaker there, but Low snipes it out just in time. Nice try, hauls out the empty jump from Low. Kilimine gets the first big hit of the round. Ends the combo a little bit early, but Low backtechs into the corner. Kilimine going for throw pressure here. Goes for a low, goes for Skyfang as well. Not really too many big hits happening here. I wonder if Low is looking to maybe watch out the cycle, but unfortunately it's a counter hit. Being in this position, what do you think Low should be looking for as far as getting out?
I think at this point that if I'm Low, I'm popping VO next round. Like the next defensive interaction, just to sort of get Kilimine off a little bit. We're seeing some of the staggers pop out a bit better for Kilimine here, and how they kind of started opening up Low a bit more. And yeah, okay, that skew moment just kind of confirms for me that, like, yeah, Roll probably will go under skew. So I'm very curious to see how much Low will kind of opt for that. The skew is not like, it's not the end-all be-all of Hilda neutral, but it is a nice way to kind of push people off of you. we just wake up. Was that 2C or 2B? Jesus.
I believe that was 2C, yeah.
Oh my god.
Low resets Kilimine with an overhead, but Kilimine, undeterred, does wake up 2C and is immediately rolling back on low after low just kind of gives up neutral space here. Hellbreaker whiffs, but it's okay. We can whiff cancel that into 236C. There's that VO you were talking about. Hilda, very strong with VO in particular because she, depending on the spacing, just gets a 50-50 opportunity right away after popping it. So her reward for being correct on the defensive situation is extremely high, and we're seeing the momentum just kind of shift back in Low's favor. Time is definitely ticking down and shields the assault button from Kilimine. This might be death.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Gotta spend the meter to make sure that finishes it off. One thing that was really interesting was that we saw a few less DS opportunities from Kilimine. And based on the way they've been using CS in this set thus far, they've mostly been using it when neutral gets reset in order to better kind of play out the RPS. So for example, we saw earlier in the first round, I believe, where Kilimine teched the throw and then immediately clicked CS to kind of assess what Low was going to do. So I think in those situations, if Kilimine has CS, Low could perhaps try to like generate those situations in order to burn the CS more often from Kilimine than not. Right now, however, cycle doesn't seem to matter quite as heavily, but the EXTN to get through. Oh, drops combo, however.
That's not good. Oh, sees the shield from Low. I wonder if he's going to try to go for an assault to break the OS, but no, just goes for a regular throw.
Double throw.
He doesn't have to commit
anything. Okay. And there it is once again, right? That post-throw CS situation there. If I remember correctly, the person that techs the throw in UNICLR is +8. So I think that Kilimine is really just looking to play out RPS and is expecting instant reactions from Low. But because they don't see the red glow that usually comes when a move is coming out or in recovery or what have you, Kilimine is still trying to kind of like opt for something else there. But Low has a little bit of frame advantage, so they can press a little bit more delayed to kind of draw in Kilimine and punish them for attempting to dash up and stuff something with like a reversal option or what have you.
Kilimine, oh, mash out.
We are mashing.
Calls out the pressure reset. And this is what I'm talking about. Hilda's reward on correct defensive decisions is incredibly high because even if she puts you in block stuff, she's able to just meter burn and then reset to a favorable spacing in neutral by just doing teleport afterwards. And Low is just hammering away at these two A's, did not want Kilimine to get any pressure started whatsoever. Kilimine tries to roll, but the Gloom is still behind him, contesting that neutral space, and the recovery is going to be such that Low gets another possible 50-50 opportunity to see CS burn for Kilimine. Gets cycled just in time, needs to skewer. It's going to be 50-50. Oh, tries to contest one. I think that was 6C, but Low keeps it nice and clean. One round away from cleaning up the set. What do you think Kilimine needs to do? Do you think he's being too active on his approaches right now?
Yeah, I think at this point we're seeing Kilimine get stuffed way more consistently by Low. Whether it's necessarily Low's... Oh, Jesus, okay. Speaking of which, we got to start engaging in. But look at the grid for Low right now. They can probably prop CS or opt to VO in this situation. They got a lot of options here. Opting for the grid thrust instead, but an EXCN is going to work out for Kilimine. Yeah, generally Kilimine has been a bit more aggro on some of their decision making, which was working earlier, but Low has made a few adaptations to kind of get around that. So I think that in some ways a few more hesitations or just pumping the brakes a little bit for Kilimine will work out. Oh! There's another layer of that post-throw CS situation. Rolls under the 5A, but another one to catch it right there. Low surely is going to be prepped for another CS coming up here soon. Going to burn the meter, pop the CS. This is going to get them started here, but not enough meter to run much 50-50s, if at all. Going to set the Gloom, teleport, trying to start something, but the up back from Kilimine is going to get it done.
Yeah, that was a bit scary for Kilimine. He had the VO baited completely, but he just could not confirm the rest of the combo. And that allowed Low to... In a weird way, it sort of worked out for Kilimine because even though, he won the round, yes, but he also burned some meter from Low in addition to winning the round. So, it's a round for Kilimine, and Low is also down some meter. Oh, the spacing trap on that with the 6-6B was actually incredible for Kilimine. May choose to VO strip here. No, just keeps it nice and simple. Says, I'm okay playing the CS situation against you, Low. And Low guard thrusting again. He's not shielding those, really, so Kilimine just gets to gamble 100 meter, call out a potential skewer, but is able to escape unscathed.
That's a lot of green shields. At a certain point, you gotta throw them. Please, God! Up back ends up getting caught by Kilimine here, and with that much meter, it should be an over. It should be a finished game here. That is going to be game 2, and we're going to move on to game 3 for the rest of the set here. Whew. Okay, one thing that I think is really interesting right now has been Kilimine's adjusted approaches. We're seeing a lot more neutral jump being kind of weighed by him here. And when Kilimine has meter, they're frequently burning it on EXEN. I'm wondering how cognizant Low is of EXEN and how many options they would normally go for, and if they're getting sort of nullified by that, right? Like, there are times in which you'll see some options not really come out at all, depending on resources here. Dropped combo is unfortunate, but once again, look at all of these shields that Kilimine is going for. Just to get crushed right here, oh boy. EX Gloom is set, we're just going to sit back.
Oh, wow. Blocks it and then just presses 5A to contest. I think he was counting on, the CS situation really carrying him through because he had so much grid available even after getting grid broken like that. He was able to play the kind of RPS of, I'm getting CS soon, I am going to contest here. And, if you block and give up your turn, I am going to have CS anyway, depending on how you shield my pressure, and have meter to burn as well. So right now we're seeing Low do anti-disperse, good block on the override of Kilimine. Again, we're just seeing the grid farm here this time. See, yet again! Just calls out the 6-6B from Low. Good reactions, and that's going to be a meaty 5A. It is a bit interesting as far as meaties are concerned against Hilda specifically, because your initial instinct is to check them low, but because Low, pardon my pun, can do like Hilda dive kick or Hilda force function as sort of a low crush option, the 5A from Kilimine is still 5 frames like the 2A, but it also checks those options from Low as well. But at the end of the day, Low is working on a perfect right now. Roll gets called out by the Gloom, and that's going to be Low with the perfect. This is a pretty close set, all things considered. 1 round away for both these plays.
And you can see how the momentum swings super heavily depending on who's really able to take a lead here. We're seeing, once again, a lot of shields from Kilimine, and I think that there are certain interactions in which, like, one player is really just running with the lead here and then just kind of able to like set their game and then nothing really happens, or times where there's a bit more of contention here. Right now, however, Low is running with a lot of momentum, tons of grid built up from Kilimine, but it might not even be a factor depending on this next interaction here coming up. Sets the Gloom, and once again, Low really wants to sit there and bait Kilimine into doing something. The shields are going to work out for Kilimine in this instance, but they're going to have to make a very, very big climb just to even out the health, if even just taking the round whatsoever. But Low, I'm afraid to mash.
Yeah, I was going to mention the 100-meter breakpoint that Low achieved during that last block stream from Kilimine. He's able to threaten VO at this point. Right, so Kilimine has to play around VO, but also has to play around dive kick, has to play around immediate mash. He can't make any mistakes in this situation, right? Because any mistake is death or pretty darn close to it. Blocks the assault and then just mashes. Low does not care about the frame advantage. He just wants to kill Kilimine, and Kilimine has resources to make it close if he does call out that option, but it's not going to be enough in that instance because he doesn't have the resources available after that CEN. So Low going to be moving on. Pretty close set though, I will say. Kilimine put up a pretty darn good fight. And up next we've got Defiant versus Boltstruck. We saw Boltstruck round 1. Defiant, who knows what he's going to play? To be perfectly honest with you, every week we've ran a bracket, he seems to have just spun a wheel and picked whatever character it spun to, so we're gonna see. Towito, give me a bet. Give me a bet right now. Just throw something out there. What's he
I can't even throw it out there. They're already hovering over Byakuya. It may be over. I'm actually really... Have you seen Byakuya Nanase? I feel like most Nanase matchups are not as common these. Oh my goodness, Akatsuki. Okay, yeah. We got a way different set here. Jesus.
All right, Akatsuki. He's like
He's a punch man.
He's a punch man. He is punch man. He's like athlete's foot. You can never truly get rid of him. and you just sticks on you and causes you all sorts of grief. While doesn't choose to mash after shielding that assault button. I wonder if Boltstruck is maybe respecting the possible, DP or something from Defiant, or maybe it's just not ready. Defiant takes his turn. Oh, nice frame trap. This is something you're gonna see, at least as far as high levels of players concerned, is people just frame trapping towards the end of cycle if they're going to lose it, right? They concede the cycle advantage and just frame trap to call out the opponent taking the turn back. So we're going to see that right here. But Boltstruck reverses the situation. Uno reverse card. Empty jump low.
Oh my goodness. They had so much time. No response from Boltstruck, sadly, right there. Was really expecting probably like a J6C or something to come out here, but unfortunately got grid broken in that situation. Defi's gonna spend the CS, saw the green shield. Remember, if you try to shield B Tatsu in order to make yourself, make you the defender plus in that situation, and Akatsuki has CS, there's chances that they're gonna CS and go for a throw in order to grid break you on that.
Yeah,
it's part of what makes popping the green shield on the second hit so like awkward when depending on the vorpal cycle.
Yeah, the ingrained response is if Akatsuki Tatsus, it's like mash the first hit, green shield the second, and then punish the third. Right? But that is thrown all the way out the window of the game. That's to threaten those green shields, and that's exactly what we saw right there. A little bit of neutral, jockeying back and forth right now. Good use of fireballs to go for both a throw and then make 50-6-6-X mix up the same. And the tornado. Boltstruck loves using that tornado. It's just really awkward for a lot of characters to contest, and that's going to be CDP to seal the round. Boltstruck looking to catch up, has 100-meter available right now, so he's able to maybe go for a reset with the 200 But getting a lot of neutral space, the backdashes, fires back with a throw. Oh, the whip throw leaves him gridly. I'm just gonna say.
I'm seeing a lot of purple shields come out. It's looking really dangerous for Boltstruck. I'm waiting on a grid break from a throw here, honestly. Defi kind of peeping these shields and then starting to go for a lot more throws here. Grid thrust coming out from Boltstruck. B-Tatsu CS. Back to neutral in this situation here. With the EX Fireball. Thrown for their troubles. Alright, Boltstruck has CS available to them. Well, should have it momentarily. There it is.
The float to go over the 5E from Akatsuki and then with punish with that air button was actually insane. Incredible awareness from Boltstruck in how Defiant is choosing to contest his pressure and then adapts for a punish. And he has nice grid advantage with the assault to secure it there just in time. Defiant takes his turn back. Oh no, calls out the backdash. That's not going to be death, just a bit awkward. Couldn't spend the 200 meter there. Didn't have enough. But 14 seconds left on the clock. Defiant shields that fireball after Boltstruck tries to concentrate and secure it.
Oh! What a good reaction right there. Goes for the fireball, recognizes the EX cancel, CS's, and then goes for 2-2C. Super slick play from Defiant. Going straight into game 2 as well. Oh boy.
Yeah, they want blood. They're out for blood. Oh man, in a mirror of a previous situation. Now Boltstruck presses 5B and Defiant is ready with the air button to punish, sending Boltstruck into the corner. Boltstruck is just farming these fireballs for grid. Defiant trying to throw off the shield timing, but Boltstruck is content with getting the cycle there. Doesn't feel the need to shield any longer. Defiant though, just getting counter hit after counter hit.
Oh my goodness. Those double fireballs into Boltstruck trying to sword card there were kind of a chef's kiss in spacing. J2C ends up whiffing here, trying to contest, and there it is. Those purple shields are starting to get called out a little more frequently from Boltstruck here. Defi really cognizant of varying their offense in order to generate these grid breaks.
I like how Defiant is not content to hold kind of the fireball pressure from Boltstruck. You saw that he just immediately held 9 and then went for J6C. He knows that Boltstruck is respecting his wake up because he has the resource advantage there and just throws Boltstruck back in the corner. Oh man, why can you with ADP with the EX cancel for dive to punch the fireball like that? Boltstruck, you are too good this game. I don't know. One more, yeah.
I wonder if that was outside of the EX whiff cancel window for Defi on that situation there with the fireball. I don't know if that was just like a hair late so that they couldn't 2-2C on reaction to the dive EX cancel.
This is big damage. Oh, he drops it, and Boltstruck forward techs out. Boltstruck, again, still showing shields on the aerial approaches from Defiant. Defiant, if I were him, which obviously I'm not, he's you know, playing and wins games and brackets and all that stuff, but just, alright, Boltstruck has learned his lesson. No more goes for just a regular 3C anti-air. The reward on hit is much more, and it's less of a risk anyway in those situations that he would be shielding. With awareness from him, now the loop tier presses 2A to contest the pressure reset from Boltstruck. Okay. Oh, yeah, fireballs.
Big trade. Whiff on the assault. Couple of shields here now. And all it is, oh god, just a hair late with the throw, but picking up afterwards regardless. This should be good. Probably, no, it doesn't go for the Citatsu under here. Blocks a sword card. CS gets spent. The EX dive!
And twice now we've seen Defiant go for kind of a fireball pressure option, and Boltstruck calling it out with the C-dive like that. Able to C-dive out of float, and he was probably able to float and then shield the fireballs anyway. The most rewarding option of C-dive for the game. Now these are one game apiece for both these players. Boltstruck mashes out, knows that Defiant's probably going to get the cycle, but doesn't care, wants the position advantage. Calls out the air fireball with the anti-air fireball. Nanase can set fireball and then do 6B to kind of throw it up at you. Good awareness from him. Tatsu gets contested by 5B. Scary shield from Defiant, but Defiant mashes out. We're seeing these players just trade mash outs on each other's pressure. And Boltstruck with, again, calling out yet another fireball from Defiant. I wonder if Defiant would better serve not fireballing so often as he is right now. What do you think about just kind of keeping the pressure short?
From Defiant in terms of their fireball usage?
Yeah.
It's like a weird mixed bag. I think ostensibly trading fireballs in those situations are not super bad, but it's more so the fact that when Boltstruck has meter, they're able to kind of back their fireball wall with like a big dive punish there. Especially, you know, like with the whiff cancel option there. Oh, goodness, Akatsuki. So I think it's kind of a matter of being a little more hesitant on using that. Maybe EX Fireball in certain spacings would be better to use there, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, though, Boltstruck is looking to take the rest of this set if they can manage to get through Defiant's offense right now, and that has been super big for them. Axe Kick comes out right now, and it's time to get the party started.
Finally seeing that Boltstruck is out of meter and not able to contest his fireballs for once in this set, is able to CBO and secure the round if his IWEX damage carries him through.
Oh, he's hella dead. There's no way he's not dead. He's hella dead, right?
I think you're calling it?
I'm calling him dead. He's super dead. Yeah, he's very dead. Very, very. Yes. Oh my
The
goodness.
assault, JD.
I don't know if Boltstruck is opting. I feel like if I'm Boltstruck, I'm just gonna start mashing 3CA DOS like way more frequently, because in so many situations, Defiant is just committing to a lot of aerial options here. It's not like they're doing like some weird like assault fireball or anything like that. Like they are just raw, just either jumping in or trying to empty jump low so frequently. And at this point, I would just be stuffing that on reaction more frequently.
Another good contest on Boltstruck's pressure. Goes for Citatsu Ender. Oh man, ADP on wake up into the meter burn. VO strip for the chaser. Calls out the backdash. Defiant not ready to give up on defense. Chases down another backdash.
God.
He's dead. Yup.
That Tatsu to chase it was nuts. That was so cool looking.
In a vacuum, Bitatsu is not like super strong, but if you do it in situations like that with CS to back it up, even if they do stay put, it is extremely powerful. You see, Boltstruck gets the backdash chase down the first time, and then Defiant frame traps with Bitatsu into CS to confirm the situation into the kill. That was really back and forth from both these players, but You see one whiff, 6-6C from Boltstruck because Defiant, I think he just delayed tech there. Took his turn back, even though VO meter was on kind of Boltstruck's side, and then takes the round and the set. But I want to take my JPEGs back from the Mafia, so use those codes. I swear I will be very upset if you don't. Look, my humor hasn't progressed past the early aughts. I need those JPEGs back, okay? PNGs just don't hit the same, right? And whatever Apple's doing with a high efficiency image content or whatever, I get calls about that at work all the time. It's just kind of cringe. I'm going to be honest. It's kind of cringe. So please use the codes. Helps us out a lot. Would help me out the most. Towito probably, will be happy about it too. I don't know. I can't speak for him. But please use those codes. Really appreciate it. Oh, get a big smile on my face, kind of like this.
You just have such extensions on this bit, and I can't process it. So like Peep Scheme, right? So for example, like I'm a type of person that when I tell a story, I'm not an embellisher, but I'll throw in tangents and I'll just throw in random facts for the sake of just catching people off guard. And when I'm the recipient of that, I just notice the craft, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting mixed, I'm getting cooked. I'm like, what's next? What happens next in the JPEG story? Like, I just have no idea.
Well, give me like 5 minutes, and I'll have an update for you. You see, most people go outside. No, I just sit in my little hidey hole.
Yeah.
I plot myself on the turlet, and I just get to writing. I have my printer paper, I have my needle drawing pen, and I just start writing. Mutual situation. Born out of situations like that, it's greatness doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen under extreme bowel movements. Speaking of bowel movements, we've got Mr. B for bowel. I can't confirm that, but sure, why not?
That is insane. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Versus, hey, look. Last time we had Mr. B on stream, Garm said Mr. BO when he VO'd, and I said, I don't think you should say that, but I'm doubling down. Mr. Bowel over here versus Krilla Tank.
That's not even a double down. You've just switched up. That's not a double down. You didn't stand for it to begin with. Now you're just standing on it arbitrarily.
You're right. You're so right. I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm sorry. We're getting the match here. We've got a backdash from Mr. B. Oh, the fadeaway Thanatos call, but Kilimine still has CS to back it up. Whips the confirm. Oh no. Alright, this is pretty wild and wacky already. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whips the thrust, but it's alright. Orie buttons like 5B exist for a reason. And that's going to be a pretty big combo. Not one throw will kill, but he does have Vorpal bonus. And ship damage is definitely a factor now. You can't threaten a throw. As I say that, he just stand techs him into the corner, takes round one. Kilimine, meter advantage available. How do you think he should leverage this meter advantage going into the next round?
I think for Kilimine, oh Jesus Christ, they got the hit right there. I was about to talk about using different tools to kind of engage a neutral, but then they just kind of got a hit anyway. Right now, they're at least using the meter to kind of extend their offense right there. It's a Homebreaker, of course. The CS is to stay in, and once again, those staggers have been eating people alive. We saw Low take a lot of those staggers on those situations right here. Goes for the concentrate here, really wants to secure themselves yet another CS. Should be able to kill here, actually. Might not even need to burn the meter.
That was the combo. Kilimine, out of all the Linne players, is like the combo master out of everyone, at least in North America. The fact that he can't, with this resource advantage that he has available to him, it's going to really come into play in these neutral situations if he's able to throw like a wayward C fireball and take his turn back. Mr. B, though, whips a button in neutral. Kilimine smartly contests. Good shield into... Oh, calls out the shield from Mr. B into throw grid break. This is going to be a pretty good situation for him. Has meter to burn and also CS. Chooses to CS. He is floating a little bit of meter off of that interaction there. I would have liked to see maybe kind of a C fireball, but he might have just not wanted Mr. B to shield. Mr. B, though, VO, and this... Oh, no, he drops
that
the
drop combo hurts. That hurts so much. That's pain. That's pain and suffering, indeed. All right, don't shield, don't shield. He's gonna throw. He's gonna throw. Watch this throw. Watch this throw. Cycle's about to end. Surely he throws, right?
No, he just dies.
Yes, IW. Oh my God.
Guys. Mr. B keeps it simple. Has CS available. Kilimine going for the more risky option there. Maybe trying to grid break Mr. B when he's trying to get CS. But Mr. B, you know, presses CS and goes, yeah, this will kill you if IW here. And then that'll be one game for him. Stakes B cracks
yes.
him open.
Gotta crack the head top with that. There's been a lot of 1D or probably 1AD from both players here. And so they've been showing a lot of kind of like low purple shield and low green shield. We're seeing a lot of like shield come out here. And I wonder if it's an issue for Orie necessarily to kind of stay at ranges where it's easier to punish the low shields outside of, you know, positional advantage. Where, for example, there's a range where Mr. B is kind of at prime. I think it's 2 and 4B range is the Thanatos low, for example. And we've seen a lot of preemptive shields from Kilimine since it's not considered like a projectile, so you can't necessarily invuln through it with certain tools there. And I'm wondering if that's kind of the reason for that coming out there. And if Mr. B either needs to show more assault or needs to play a little bit closer in order to threaten like dash up throws. Like right there, we're seeing yet another purple shield come out from Kilimine here. Not grid broken for their trouble, but this is looking like a dire situation for them.
SCS taking down. Yeah, Mr. B smartly gives up the turn, but just resets with Thanatos call. This is going to be a lot of damage. Able to kill actually.
Barely killed. Oh my God! Doesn't but walk back 5A. 5B. I was getting buttons mixed up.
Yeah, that's. Either way, it's he wins the round there, and just a really good switch up on the pacing here. You see Kilimine CS immediately tries to dash up and go for something. Mr. B just calls Thanatos, and not quite enough meter to kill here, but pretty darn close. Any stray hit will do it. And Kilimine just sends it all on assault, but Mr. B contests, and that's going to be a quick 2-0 for him. Good stuff.
Yeah. Woo. That was pretty crazy.
That round, though.
What?
I'll give you two guesses. What's faster than that round that we just watched? What's really something that you think could be faster than that, if possible?
Claiming a Maturino code?
Okay, what? Yeah. But what else? What else do you think, Towito, off the top of your head, is faster than that round we just?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that works. All right, so, you know, Sonic is way past cool, and you know what's way past cool? Using Maturino codes. Please use the Maturino codes, ! Maturino in the chat box there. Get you to the Maturino page, claim the code. It's just really easy, super simple. I have on good authority, after reading several Sonic the Hedgehog fanfictions, that Sonic loves, and I mean LUVS, people using Maturino codes like that. I know I do Maturino codes daily, nightly, weekly, monthly, yearly, hourly, secondly, minutely, because I want Sonic to love me as much as I love him. So please, if you want Sonic to love you, use the Maturino codes. That is all.
What about the people that already clicked for the Maturino codes? What happens to them?
Use more. Once you pop, you can't stop. You know, it's like crack. You know, Maturino codes are like crack if you think about it, but not too hard. So, using Maturino codes, like this matchup we're about to see here, is cool and awesome and incredibly based. And Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming out soon. Shadow's in it or something. So
yeah, he's in it. It's gonna be really sick.
Alright, we've got Yuzu Nanase. Now, Nanase does have Fireball and the 6B follow-up to the Fireball to kind of snipe out Yuzu in the air. But he does have to risk Yuzu just kind of smacking him with a slash there. Got farming DD for grid here. He not really worried about cycle, just wants to maintain neutral spacing. Oh, I love the 2C play there.
I want to talk about that situation in a moment, but right now I really am curious to see what Boltstruck wants to do to kind of handle Yuzu in neutral. The very first interaction we've seen were just, frankly, a lot of shields. Wow, just barely jumping over the fireball there. Caught by the sword car follow-up. No fall, drops the combo afterwards, actually, sadly, here. Caught by the Bato here.
It would be a big game if he did manage to finish that combo out. Boltstruck does see DP.
Oh my goodness, you got left-righted.
Yeah, not quite ready to block that.
Maybe counterplay options that DD would opt for would be 4B, but because the left-right was so ambiguous there, it would have changed into, I believe, I can't remember off the top of my head if Yuzu had a 6B, but would have turned into perhaps 5B, which would have netted a counter hit into even more damage there. So, just a difficult situation to deal with there. Once again, a lot of shield coming out from Boltstruck, but DD not quite making the adjustments yet, and it's a little more difficult for Yuzu to show overheads there, right? Like, Yuzu's not going to click like Assault J2C at you all the time in order to grid break you. She's usually just doing that primarily to start offense, rather than mix necessarily.
Yeah, DD is, with the timer being what it was, he just wanted to throw stuff at the wall and try to get Boltstruck to crack. Boltstruck did show low shield there, but because DD went for kind of a charged fake out into attempted low, he didn't really get anything off of it, and Boltstruck was able to contest and secure the rest of the round. And even if he didn't really mash there, it was going to be tough for DD to really come back in that situation. The life deficit was so massive, Boltstruck could just kind of block out and take as many throws as he wanted. DD, though, firing back, a lot more patient and neutral this time, I feel, and is rewarded with both the cycle and a good knockdown. Meaty 6C, Boltstruck tries to chase it out with Sword Carve, but unfortunately it gets clipped. Another fireball here from Boltstruck. DD maneuvers around it with teleport. Unfortunately, that EX move is air blockable, as we saw earlier. Boltstruck over normal strike throw situation. 6-6C overhead drops the combo. Oh my goodness, that was actually insane from DD. He might actually win the round off that. Drops the combo.
15 seconds left. As long as DD can delay the last hit from Bolt, that is not what you want to happen. This is.
Oh no.
That is not what you want to happen. That is not what you want to happen. It's so over for DD in this game 1 here. Bolt is moving on to game 2 with a frantic, crazy last couple of hits here to secure the game 1 win.
I have never seen so many instances of we're so back into it's so over into we're so back into it's so over in my entire life. The amount of stray hits that DD took that weren't combos. Like, alright, he's still alive, he's still alive. And then he got hit again. I'm like, oh no, and then it didn't combo. I'm like, oh, we're still alive, but no.
On DD, I'm suffering. That is the best way to describe my emotional state right there.
So ridiculous, but alright. Riley President. Using player confident in their mash timings is a thing of beauty and also makes me extremely angry. Oh no, the 2-1-4 chases out the teleport.
I understand that. You know what actually cooks me about that entire interaction? Boltstruck like whiffed the move, then went for shield, then said, you know what, I'll mash. And by that time, DD was like, oh, wait a minute, you're not plus here, and started to throw out a button. Speaking of confidence in their buttons, though, Boltstruck with the 5C there, and then the impending tornado really trying to contest and stuff DD out at some of these ranges.
Yeah, DD is very teleport happy we've seen so far in at least this game, and Boltstruck using the tornado there to just put a stop to that immediately. Oh, another, there it is again, 2-1-4C from Boltstruck. Even if that move gets blocked by Yuzu, Boltstruck is still plus, and he has CS backing him up, so as far as the risk-reward situation for the meter burn, it's super strong for Boltstruck. Okay, sniped out by the 2C, that button just reaches just barely high enough to snipe Boltstruck out, but DD's still on the corner, and there it is again! Oh my
goodness. Alright, this should be CS for 100 meter, and then you'll be able to end with an EX. Not quite going to be enough to kill, and doesn't necessarily have the positioning for the Oki, but this... Oh god, you got caught concentrating. Alright, lots of shields in order to shift the cycle a bit more in Boltstruck's favor. DD's not going to be able to deny the cycle at this rate, and because Boltstruck has so much health advantage, they can afford getting hit in situations like this. DD trying to end the combo early in order to steal CS with Concentrate, but then opts for the buttons right there in to get... Oh goodness. DP comes out there. Sorry, they kept trying to press in that situation kind of afterwards when they realized that Boltstruck wasn't mashing, but I can't tell if they necessarily had a little bit of the edge of the cycle there in that situation. Oh, they did not. Okay, there we go. So Boltstruck opting to just sit there and block was advantageous for them because Yuzu has no mix-up available at that range. And if DD opts to concentrate, they can react and dash up and threaten a button and potentially just end the round and therefore the set right there. Or they can opt to block and then get the cycle and play out the next interaction that results. So yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was a tough situation for DD because, like you said, they could choose to maybe concentrate and win the cycle, or they could maybe, risk an assault potentially, because Boltstruck hasn't really shown any OSs because DD's just hasn't been really going for any throws or assault mix-ups too often. He's just been more content to zone. But regardless, the fact that Boltstruck got the cycle, then DD choosing to give up space is fine in a vacuum, but because, like you said, also the health differential was such that DD had to do something. Like, Boltstruck is not incentivized at all to get out of the corner whatsoever. So when DD gives up space and burns meter like that, he's just, again, trying to do something, right, to open up Boltstruck. But the first time it happens, it's fine. The second time you go for a flip into attempted pressure reset, Boltstruck is just going to CS and then DP for the game, right? So it's kind of a tough situation for DD all around. Just gave up a few too many hits with Boltstruck. Great air tornado usage with the 214C, just consistently sniping out DD in the air and then going for big damage combos afterwards. So good stuff by him.
Yeah,
but
one of the
also good. Sorry, Towito. I understand that you're a man of culture.
Yes.
With the jacket on the back. Now,
yeah.
What do you think to become a high society man such as yourself? I would need to do in order to accomplish that. What's an easy thing I could do?
An easy thing you can do? Okay. Yeah. Well, what has gotten me through a lot of high society situations, and trust me, I've, sometimes you end up just talking to a rich person randomly, and you kind of have to smooth your way throughout the situation. The easiest way to get credit amongst all your peers is to contribute to matcherinos. I will put it that way. You pop in a little bit in the matcherino, suddenly you're like, of course I've donated. I'm a patron to the arts. Easy money. I'll be frank. And it's true. You are donating to an art form of video games. So just a little fun fact for you guys there. I want to talk about meter usage, but we're not going to get the chance quite yet. Defiant's going to be on the Hyde versus Low. This should be curious.
He's not messing around. This matchup is, let me just say, Hilda players hate this matchup. And part of me is inclined to say that's because Hilda players, they don't know how to defend at all. Just throwing some shade out. But also because Hyde in particular is very, very good at disrespecting Hilda's options. Kind of like that 6-6C. If the Hyde gets a bead on when Hilda wants to like a 6-6 bead, right, it is extremely strong of an option to just throw out and put Hilda in uncomfortable situations. Just looping plus frames at the moment. Defiant. Another force function after a bit of a delay. Just some moves that Hyde has are just perfectly made for making Hilda players' lives miserable. Low, though, making the best of a bad situation. Having CS available, burning some meter, going for a potential mix-up. Shields from Defiant. Hyde kick from Low. Alright. Has meter available, has CS available. Goes for a mix-up. Reset! Never mind. Says screw mix-ups. I'm just gonna keep doing damage to you.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot with Low there. To a degree that, I think I can confirm that, yeah, that does look very intentional there. Trying to go for the reset with the, it's like Gloom 22B, I think is what's coming out there. I'm not as for Jesus, 6-6C is so big!
Yep. That's what I'm saying before. That button is kind of tailor-made to make Hilda just cry repeatedly. Just random dive kick approaches like that. It hits high enough to snipe out, some potential force function from Hilda. If she whips a 6-6B, it just kind of gets Hyde in for free. It is extremely strong, but regardless, 50-50 on deck. Low is gonna make the best of this matchup and be up one game against Defiant in winners finals. I think the fact that Low is just out damaging Defiant and then using the meter in such a way that they don't necessarily want to win neutral. They just want to kill Hyde. They just want to kill Hyde dead right now immediately. 50-50 is the great equalizer. into Defiant again. Kind of leaning on that force function there. Goes for the plus frames with the 2-2-B.
This is with, look at all of the damage that shit did. Defi got like maybe one normal out before in that situation, but even before like they managed to take the cycle, they got so much chip damage out there, really prompting some of these like reactions from low in this situation. The lane 2C gets it done. Probably, I guess a shield must have come out or something right there for that to grid break in that situation. EXDP is not going to be quite enough here, but all it will take is one throw. Will it be a strike? Will it be a throw? Nobody knows. 5A ends up coming out from low. Let's see what they can get started here.
Alright. Oh, no, it just keeps the combo going. I do like the shield on Defiance. 5 either space him out and then take his turn back to 5A is rewarded with a pretty good combo. But Defiant uses 2D6C, eats a dive kick from low. Alright. It's Hilda time, baby. Got 100 meter VO strip.
Oh, we're betting it all.
Oh,
we're betting it all here. Oh my god.
Oh no, this is terrible.
You're dead. You're dead. You're
Yeah.
dead. You're dead. Oh my
Air
god,
blocking
this is...
bloom like that is abysmal in that situation, and Low runs away with it. Fine, again, 6-16, I'm telling you, man, Button's real good in this matchup. And Low is going to get thrown back into the corner. Fine, BD2B does not want Low to do any funny shenanigans, funny haha pranks on him. And this is going to be so much damage. Oh my goodness, that's meters break.
Oh no! No. When you said it, it's cursed. Jesus, it's Low's time now. I don't know if we'll see a repeat of the last round. That'll be, I'll be honest, quite funny if it is, but Defi managing to at least get a lot of green shields. Popping the CS, not quite there. I think they misinput their 6-6C. That's rough.
Yeah, that was absolutely a misinput. 6-6C. Low has one more chance here. Chip damage stacking up, but at this point, it honestly doesn't matter too much because if Hilda's getting a hit, it's gonna be leading into a 50-50. So Defiance just laying the plus frame situation, just wants to go for keeping Low perpetually in the corner and feeling sad, and that's gonna be one round for him. I love the no cancel force function in the 6B, which is enforced with the spacing on Low there. Low getting counter hit again. Do you think Defiance kind of gotten a bead on when Low wants to contest his pressure?
Feels like it. So many of the opening interactions have been very explosive in this set thus far, and they've been trending more and more towards Defiant's favor here. Pops the CO. Okay. And I think we're going to see more and more of that as the set progresses, unless Low has a bit more to kind of show in these situations.
You saw earlier that last interaction, Low gambling on a force function. I don't think we've seen that from him just yet, but Defiant was already spaced out, pressing 5B as a meaty. Kind of invalidated.
I knew it. I played it. Yeah, I knew that 6-6E. I felt from the bottom of my soul. I haven't played against a high in so many years, but 6-6C is 6-6C. I felt it. I'm telling you.
Well,
watch, he uses Defi's gonna dash block like twice and then look for... So one thing that's actually really big here that I'm noticing as well is 2-2-B in particular, where Defiant's trying to get in range where 2-2-B can quickly threaten and punish Hilda's attempts at throwing out certain buttons or projectiles there. So Low has to be a bit preemptive in terms of covering space in front of them, or at least the space that is in front of Defiant, in order to prevent the 6-6Cs and the dash block 2-2-Bs from coming out more frequently.
Yeah, 2-2-X with CS is just a really good option to kind of throw out because it's whiff cancelable, right? So you can just throw it out and block, hit, or miss. You'll be able to recognize the situation and respond accordingly. Defiant grip thrusting Low out, but Low has enough meter to go for anti-dispersal again, take his turn back. Timer is gonna be a factor. 16 seconds left on the clock. Oh my god.
Okay, Assaults to get over there. This opener is going to be big. Defiant's going to have to cut it a little short if they want to get enough damage to kill. That is over. Yeah, this round is over. Nothing they can do in that situation. Even if they got the throw, even if they got the strike, they do not have enough meter to quickly add up the damage there. Backdashing the 6-6C right there. We're going deeper and deeper into the layers. Low is now expecting a preemptive response from Defiant, so they're trying to stuff that. And Defiant, in response to that, is now backing off and then punishing the recovery frames from Low.
It's like Turtles all the way down, except it's 6-6C all the way down. Whether it's backdash 6-6C or just immediate 6-6C. The entire meta of the neutral round interaction is probably 6-6C.
No matter what, it's a form of a 6-6C.
Defiant. Low just wants his turn back. Oh, I love the recognition there of Low being in the air, but unfortunately doesn't finish the combo. That was going to be a lot of damage. Empty jump low. We were talking about this earlier with Boltstruck versus Defiant Akatsuki. A lot of players will just see you in the air and autopilot a shield because it's just like an ingrained Pavlovian response, right? But if they do empty jump low or throw, it just is an incredibly rewarding option in that RPS, in that they can't participate in the cycle and you get combo damage and kind of messing up their mental stack. Like, oh, is it going to be an empty jump or is it going to be a regular assault and then 11% pressure? So good on Defiant for going up that layer. Low, though, is really good at setting Gloom and pointing it towards himself and concentrating for the cycle. So it'll stuff Defiant's attempt at approaching in neutral and allow him to reset pressure as we're seeing right now. What do you think Defiant's looking for in this situation to kind of get the momentum back in his favor? He is just a round up, but it's still pretty close as far as chip damage is concerned.
Honestly, I think mostly we're seeing a lot of green shields come out there, so I think they're trying to generate a couple of frames in which they can start dash blocking in some of these situations. But really, again, it's kind of all about getting Prime into the range of using certain tools like 2-2B and the 6-6C in order to contest against Hilda and reduce some of Low's options. And I think because the 6-6C and 2-2Bs in particular have been very effective, even just getting into that range has a large threat to Low and the options that they want to use, which will in turn make it easier to dash block and get closer to Low, so that Defiant can get to doing what has been extremely successful for them thus far, and that is running their offense here. Now up 2-1 against Low in this winner's final set.
Alright, Defiant has some room to breathe now. We're gonna have to see if Low is able to respond. Defiant is okay. 2-2B from Low just snipes out the fireball attempt from Defiant. It's gonna be a good start for him. I'm guessing he's gonna runs past the Gloom to keep Defiant pinned in the corner. We're seeing Gloom usage from Low is just really something special. Whether he's pointing it towards himself and concentrating, or just using it as a way to cover his neutral approaches on Defiant after a knockdown. 4.3!
Oh boy.
Just Low has the Vorpal cycle secured, and yeah, 6-6C gets blocked, and Gloom will cover the recovery frames and punish Defiant. Low up round 1 already, pretty fast compared to the previous 2 games. Just Fireball, bend Sinister, and that's going to send Low a little bit in the corner. Low back-taking into dive kick when Defiant tries to throw him. Not going to win the cycle, just barely not enough time, but it's alright, we VO strip. Gloom. Oh, he doesn't even need to go for the 50-50. Defiant's already getting hit by the orb there. This is not a great spot for him to be another 50-50.
Oh, God.
Bring this back. Yep.
This is going to be tough. Blocks the Low, at least in this situation here, but caught by the Gloom. Oh my God, the pin.
That was the pin there.
Jeez. All right, now we're in a 2-2 situation, and I'll be honest, based on the way that Defiant's been kind of pushing momentum in their favor, I thought that that potentially was going to go in Defiant's favor, but we're now in a Game 5 situation here for Winners Finals.
Yeah, Low just made some great adjustments, and lightning fast Game 4 was able to bring it back. Defiant whipping a green shield, another green shield as well, but was able to get the cycle. You see, oh, that was a scary shield from Low. Defiant not quite ready to throw it. It's going to be okay for him. Checks with the plus frames. We've seen Low contest after those plus frames a lot. Defiant very smartly, just why mess with a good thing? Goes for 5A afterwards to enforce them, and is rewarded with Low. Pinned in the corner. Guard thrusts again. That's 2 for 2 right now. Defiant's gonna have to think about that option. Oh! Alright, that was way too close to comfort. Defiant just keeps hammering away at Low. Knows that as long as Low is in the corner, one mistake will probably be death. Not quite, and Low is able to forward tech because that was a TP ender. And is able to kind of turn the tables on Defiant. Has 200 meter available, by the way.
They did forward tech and then FFA immediately after the fact. Jesus Christ. Assault ICJC is going to connect here, and with this much meter for low, it could very well be curtains for Defiant here. Going to set up for the 50-50, caught on the overhead, almost 10 seconds left on the clock. Low has to complete this combo in order to take the round, and they do so quite quickly here. We're now in set point for Low. EX Fireball coming out round star. We are up backing with dive kick in order to counter.
You're not ready for dive kick. It is so much reward for Hilda, especially when they have meter to back it up. Kind of like that. Just snowballing the situations for Low. Low resets, goes for another one. Defiant blocks it.
A lot of green shields coming out now. If I'm Low, I'm going to consider popping a few more concentrates. It's a little dangerous in this matchup, given the presence of tools like that right there, the 2-2B, but I think it'll be really great for drawing out some of the resources from Defiant right there. When Defiant has meter or cycle, it is much, much scarier for Low to opt for a lot of these neutral engagements. Like in situations like this, Fireball CS to chase a Hilda in that situation, especially off the up back where Hilda really doesn't have a lot to do, but either with like a JA, a JB, or commit to a very, very far dive kick, which I could very reasonably just 3C or DP on reaction.
Oh, no. Oh, wait!
That's regardless? Oh my god.
That was incredibly smart from Defiant, whether he wanted it to happen that way or not. Now, Low has no resources available to leverage a potential, 50-50 situation depending on the ender here.
Actually,
Defiant air blocks the
long game.
No.
Oh no. 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 Oh god.
Yeah. Thing about Hilda is that we've seen at least once or twice in this set, it doesn't matter what the state of the timer is. If Hilda is able to get a knockdown on you, you're still at risk of dying.
You're still guessing.
Some other characters, some other characters, you can, I'll just take some throws, there's not really anything too scary. No, against this character, if you're wrong, you die. Like, if they're not throwing you, they're just dealing pretty much equivalent damage off of any starter after 50-50. So, we saw Defiant chip away at Low's health, only for Low to be right on one defensive situation and then just run it all the way back into his favor. So, good stuff by him. Defiant. Good stuff by him, but unfortunately, just, one too many dive kicks eaten, and that's going to be all she wrote. Still alive and losers, but we're going to see if he's able to bring it back. Low sitting pretty in Grand Finals winner's side. Towito, what do you think that this next match is going to bring us?
It's going to be Mr. B Boltstruck. Did these two play at the start of this bracket?
They did.
99% sure.
It was 2-0 Boltstruck.
I am not sure what... Now, okay. Spoiler alert. Given New England, I'm just going to just chill for Mr. B. That's just the regional pride at hand right now. So I am biased, and I will own that and move forward with that. That being said, I'm not too sure what adjustments Mr. B wants to make, because their initial set went pretty heavily in favor of Boltstruck there. But I think if they're kind of keyed into Boltstruck's shielding decisions, and if they can navigate to more favorable spots in neutral, maybe just like a hair closer, maybe even honestly within Nanase 5C range, perhaps that'll be a bit more helpful there. But we'll just kind of have to see how it plays out for now.
I definitely agree with your assessment, but Mr. B is just really giving up a lot of neutral space, wanting Boltstruck to come to him, and Boltstruck is more than happy to throw out a fireball and run behind it in a way to contest that neutral space and just get in a favorable situation. Anti-air 2C? Alright, this character's gotta go. I'm sorry. I try to be on bot.
Okay, alright, the sword card hitting in reverse and getting the throw, I'll be honest, that was nuts. That was a little crazy. That more than a little crazy. That was absurd. I'll be frank. What in God's name? There's a lot of offense going on right here for Boltstruck. Not really connecting in a lot of these situations, but Mr. B having a very difficult time finding a button that hits in that situation due to the way that Boltstruck is planting themselves just above. Tries to go for, the CS into the throw right there in order to punish the green shield from Mr. B right there. Kind of that, how dare you even bother taking your turn right here. Gets a cross-up, actually, and takes the first round.
Yeah, we're seeing just all throughout this bracket, honestly, Boltstruck's 214X usage is just insane. We're seeing immediately, when is the frame Mr. B is up in the air, Boltstruck is pressing 214C and then potentially air unblockable with the grounded button. So, just insane stuff from him. Mr. B is just trying to slow the tempo of the game down, get cycle, get something. Thanatos contests the 214X from Boltstruck, concentrating in neutral. Miss Boltstruck's gonna get it, man.
So in that situation, in some of these situations actually with the anti-airs that you're talking about, Orie, of course, with her force function being that huge hop, able to really dance around the screen in obnoxious ways, right? Especially with Thanatos calls and so on and so forth. But of all the characters to deal with, Nanase is nothing to mess with. As we're seeing the Sea Tornado come out here in these situations, right? Like we mentioned earlier before, pushing the fireball up. Nanase's 3C is quite tall, not as tall as perhaps Hyde's, right? ADP, EX cancel, so on and so forth. So the aerial movement from Mr. B being the primary options here aren't going to work out as heavily, and we're seeing a lot of situations where Boltstruck kind of gets a lot of their neutral interactions from Mr. B trying to dance around a lot of things with their aerial decision-making here. So I think that if Mr. B can show a stronger ground game, this will in turn reinforce their aerial play. And I think, again, like, calling Thanatos, perhaps even being within, like, A thrust or B thrust range to punish certain fireball sets from Nanase will be helpful. But it's all about playing in those kind of dangerous spacings. I don't know Orie super in depth, so I can't talk about, like, the extremely specific decisions, but at a glance, these are the things that I'm seeing here.
Yeah, it's definitely a factor of Mr. B not being comfortable contesting Nanase fireball sets on the ground, and as a result of that, is choosing to go in the air and try to leverage that option that Orie has. But because Boltstruck has resources available so often in these neutral situations, because he's just winning cycles so often, it's really not a good strategy to go for in those instances, because Boltstruck has consistently shown that he is able to snipe out those aerial approaches. So I agree completely. And there it is again! Just does it again. Alright, doesn't finish the combo. Mr. B, signs of life available here. No! He keeps doing it! No!
Yeah, and it's one of those things that's very difficult to deal with. I'm very curious to see if Nanase in particular is one of those no-fly zone matchups for Orie. Just given the way that Boltstruck is doing such a good job of covering the spacings. VO ends up coming out there, hadn't seen it all set, but Boltstruck was just setting the fireball and just trying to restart their offense right there. Cycle is indeed in their favor here. 2A Masha ends up connecting. Should be able to at least end with an EX move or just straight up IW, whatever works best. Gets a side swap, 4.3. It's a start. Should be able to maintain Cycle so long as they don't get hit. Nice job catching Boltstruck, attempting to use the sword card here. And this is set point for Boltstruck. The ADP, you talked about it before, Tom, and it's coming into clutch once again. Now this is going to be a dicey situation. One hit kills for either player, but the drop from Bolt here. All right, this is more than enough meter in order to kill here. Doesn't even need to spend any, in fact.
Yeah, this is a huge momentum shift for Mr. B. Equivalent meter, but is kind of able to stop the snowball. As I say that, sword car starter into 214C. Okay, up back calls out the 66C and the fireball. Is able to side swap and get positioning advantage. Boltstruck has so many. It's going to be pretty tough to come back. I like the whiff punish on the 2A mash from Boltstruck on Mr. B's end here. He's kind of playing a little bit closer to the ground, but that counter hit GameStop trade will be Mr. Boltstruck. Sorry, Boltstruck instead of Mr. Boltstruck, rather. Mr. Hadley needs a round 4 to stay alive in this bracket, more like.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait. This is actually really big. Okay, if Mr. B ends the combo a little bit early, gets a concentrate, okay, there they have the cycle, and they got hit because they were in probably recovery from concentrate. That's actually really rough. Forced to spend the CS in that situation there. They really don't want to deal with the strike throw of the fireball here. Try and pop a bit more 2-2C, but Nanase, on top of kind of the other attributes we've mentioned, is relatively quick. So if you are just setting Thanatos 2-2C raw, it is a little tougher to kind of get that hit. That drop on the DP is so tragic. 20 seconds left on the clock, and a B thrust will get it done.
Okay, that was alright. That was really scary for a number of reasons. But Mr. B is able to clutch it out, just barely. I think Boltstruck is definitely a bit more favored in the mental aspect because that was a really close round. Yeah, we're seeing Mr. B just take a long time to re-up. He's beginning to believe, he's beginning to understand Boltstruck's kind of neutral habits, and is starting to leverage a bit more of kind of the low jumps instead of the force functions to use Thanatos for, you know, neutral control and pressure resets, and a little more thrust as we're seeing right there, staying a bit more grounded as you mentioned earlier. Boltstruck backdashes, concentrates, sets a fireball. Okay, I like the call out. Knows that Boltstruck doesn't have the fireball on top of him just yet. He did not choose the CS. So Mr. for the whip punish and a counter hit 5B there.
Oh my goodness, we're getting the party started. Oh my goodness, we're getting the party started. Oh my goodness. All right, throw CS, throw CS, throw CS, throw CS, throw CS. Okay, actually, no, you're so right, you're so right, you're so right. He didn't try to contest, he didn't try to contest. There's the throw CS. Oh my goodness, grid break! And that's going to be a perfect for Mr. B. What a huge momentum swing from this set.
Something that Mr. B likes to do is step Thanatos, but it's the 2-2B version, so it's behind you. And when the opponent goes to shield it, he just grid break throws you because you expect Thanatos to be on top of you instead. And that's something that definitely was one of the contributing factors to him winning that round. Another good contest from Mr. B. Has 200 meter available. May choose to burn here. Here we are. Doesn't want to float any meter whatsoever. Get as much damage.
Green shield whiff is actually so critical for the cycle in that situation. Had that green shield connected, Boltstruck more than likely would have been able to get the cycle. But because Mr. B didn't swing into any further potential shields and just kind of stop their offense right there, they were able to kind of like cycle for themselves. Boltstruck gonna have CS available coming up here soon. Probably gonna pop it soon. There, that dive into CS for the 3C. Mr. B tried to be cognizant of air shielding the dive, in fact, in order to kind of push that a little bit further into their advantage, but the CS from Boltstruck was really smart in order to generate a grid break here. 3C coming out once again. That should be the round as long as they spend the meter here.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Mash on the CDP, and that's going to be a round. All right. One round away from both these players. A lot closer than Mr. B was a game or so ago, but this is definitely a precarious situation for him. Thanatos set to eat the fireball from Boltstruck. Nice spacing trap on the thrust. Boltstruck tries to contest, but eats a 5B for his trouble. 2-2C set down. Blocks the aerial approach from Mr. B. Does not want to get opened up with the 2-2Cs on him like that. Alright, you're seeing a lot of just hammering away with Thanatos from Mr. B. Just wants to contest Boltstruck's neutral approaches. Doesn't want him setting any fireballs whatsoever. No! He tried to snipe him out with Thanatos, but just too early, unfortunately. Okay, put up back.
Mr. B, it feels like, is trying to really play to a range where he could bait out certain decisions from Boltstruck and then use Thanatos to kind of catch the forward moving approaches there. But it's a little difficult for him in certain instances in order to get that done. But we're seeing cases where Mr. B is starting to flex more of the 2-2B and the 2-2C in order to either contain Boltstruck or kind of block off even the possibility, right, of generating strike throw off of the fireball. In those situations when they're at full screen. And even in situations like that, Boltstruck, I think that 3C there is very telling that they are preemptively, they're looking for Mr. B to kind of engage with them in certain respects here, but Mr. B not going to give it to them. That IW should seal the deal on the damage race as long as they avoid the remaining hits here. 5 seconds left on the clock, but you can still get clipped here. Not enough meter to get it done though.
Yeah. Doesn't have any. Yeah, that was great. Great adjustment from Mr. B as far as kind of slowing down their decision making in a way, right? You saw in game 1 and a little bit in game 2 where he took to the air a lot and used, you know, kind of force function like that a lot and just really ran into 2-1-4C from Boltstruck and just gave him free hits for no real reason, but kind of progressively slowing down his vertical space, right, to where he's not all the way up in the air. He's, you know, not above my camera, but rather, you know, in the middle of my camera, and then eventually maybe below my camera, even as far as when he is choosing to approach in the air. You saw Boltstruck do 2-1-4C when Mr. B went in the air, but because he was low enough to the ground, he actually didn't get air unblockable by that. And he was able to recover in time to block the follow-up pressure. So, yes, he has to hold the plus frames, but he didn't get hit And Boltstruck's now down 100 meter in that situation. So really good stuff by him.
I want to drill into that even further, because we saw a few more dynamics stem from that, actually. In a lot of situations where Boltstruck only had the meteor available and they didn't have the cycle, we would see them just kind of like take the plus frames and move forward from there. But one of the things that we were seeing develop that I don't think Boltstruck really got the chance to push even further was using a lot of those dive CSs. Because we saw a dive CS into grid break a couple of times. And we were seeing it more and more, like some of these grid break situations for Mr. B opting to jump back. In fact, some of these jump back callouts were also getting called out by Thanatos. The reason why I drill into this further is that Defiant is picking Londrekia, and I feel that a lot of Londrekia's Rekkas are very, very good at policing the spaces where Mr. B is going to want to jump back towards. Because Rekka is forward advancing and could potentially move past Thanatos and still strike Orie in some of these ranges where ordinarily much of the cast has a difficult time kind of like finding a move to hit sort of diagonally upwards to contest Orie from backing up. I remember in particular when the Uni 2 beta came out, for instance, Mr. B was kind of demonstrating to me the ways in which Wagner is forced to use more 236B or 236C in certain instances in order to contest against Orie here. Given how Uni, there's some certain other dynamics given how Uni handles inputs where like you have to dash block, you can't do that from a run quite as easily. But I'm very curious to see what some of Defiant's options and choices will be to kind of close out some of these up-back decisions. I'm also curious to see if tools like 5BB happen to hit at that, catch the up-back there, right? Ordinarily, right, and we're just usually seeing 5BB like spaced super far out, so maybe not, but I'm genuinely interested to see in what some of these interactions will amount to.
Yeah, what we saw from these two players previously, Defiant going Londrekia really chose a more jailing-oriented game plan, whereas traditionally, Uni players just want to, get a lead and then sit on the lead as long as possible, right? Uni is not a killing game, it's a survival game, where get a life lead, you play around the cycle in such a way that you eliminate the opponent's potential, comeback options, and you just kind of coast along. And if you get another hit, then great, fantastic. But, whereas Londrekia is more of a, I am just going to wear you down eventually with like chip damage and managing the cycle in such a way that I don't need to hit you necessarily, but I'm going to play the timer situation out in such a way where you will open yourself up for me. And just right away, Rekka catches block back from Orie super well and is extremely fast. We've seen Defiant go for J3B charge there, but Mr. B calls it out with an up back like you mentioned earlier. Defiant's gonna have to represent options to beat that. Oh, Mr. B is just contesting Defiant's neutral approaches. 6-6C, wake up thrust, yes!
We are playing like it's Tekken 8. Aggression. We are using aggression today. This is what I am seeing thus far. Up back on the 4C here in this situation. Defiant stutter stepping, really trying to prompt out a reaction from Mr. B. Probing for any potential OSs or shield decisions. We are Rekka-ing, we are getting in there. Should be able to freeze off of this confirm as well. Let's see what you're doing. I'm just going to go for a C ender here. It's going to leave them open to the freeze state here. And once again, really just shitting and trying to prompt something out of Mr. B. I think that Defiant's trying to play around a thrust range in particular. I believe that's the range in which they're kind of moving back and forth on in order to make it ambiguous whether or not they'll engage or, even opt for a kind of backing up into Rekka here. FF connects. Oh my goodness.
Wake up thrust worked once, but it does not necessarily work the third time that you do it if you counter it. Defiant just going around Rekka again. 6-6 to maybe chase out an up back from Orie or a potential backdash. Mr. B in the corner, but is quite ready to do Sacred Spire. That is involved and horizontal moving very fast. And that's going to be kind of dancing around the fireball on Mr. B's part. Nice reward from him. The other meter burn, pretty big combo as well. Defiant is going to have to make something happen. Force function does not want to deal with that kind of ambiguous mix-up that Orie does. Mr. B, more likely than some other Ories to kind of go for that. I believe it's 6C into Thanatos call to kind of confuse you as to where you're supposed to block. But Defiant just hammers away at the omnidirectional VP there, and that's going to get him. Mr. B in the corner has CS available, has Flower down to invalidate the CS. That is pretty big. VO from Mr. B. Alright, Defiant just gets out of the corner.
Oh my goodness. Mr. B trying to bet it all on the IOX there. I don't know. IOX would not have killed in that instance. Defi would have been probably alive with a few hundred health there, if I'm understanding the damage values properly. So very, very big gamble for that.
I would like to see a bit more pressure enforcement from Mr. B, I'd say. He VO'd Defiant into the corner, and Defiant just immediately got out afterwards. So kind of unfortunate for Mr. B. I want him to be a bit more aggressive as far as maintaining his advantage state in those situations. If you eat a DP, you eat a DP, but you know, if the opponent's wrong and they're dead, Defiant. Regardless, once again, his toes with that Rekka, and that's going to be Mr. B in the corner. Defiant with a harder meter plus. VO gets some grid generation advantage. Oh man, this is not good.
This is potentially death with the VO damage bonus, no? Oh, okay, that's a come-ons here. A couple of 6x's. All Thanatos calls.
Oh man, called out the force function, but I don't think he was ready to confirm it into anything. Defiant kind of gets a little murder there. 27 seconds left on the clock. Mr. B CS's, but Defiant is spacing himself out such that he just presses 5B to enforce the spacing trap there, and it's going to be one round up. Mr. B fires back. What do you think Mr. B is doing correctly nowadays? I mean, especially in this round, immediately, he's just getting a lot better hits and neutral control on Defiant than he was ago.
It's a little harder to tell because so many interactions in this set have felt like a slugfest, where both players are truly just like pushing each other very hard. So in certain instances, I think like one thing that Mr. B's doing well, however, is some of the FF usage to get around fireballs. In that instance, their aerial movement didn't work out quite as well, but given the amount of options that Defiant has, it's kind of difficult to take to the skies, I feel like. Just, you have to get over the fireball, but then you can get clipped by certain Rekka hits, you can get clipped by 4C in that instance, I suppose, if it's spaced out. If you try to jump in, you're high enough that FF might end up catching you, and I highly doubt that that is an air blockable move even with shield. So there's a lot of ways in which Lond covers that horizontal space in front and above him to make it difficult. And I think the instances in which Mr. B is able to squeeze in those FFs, it's working out quite well for him. That being said, however, they are now stuck in the corner at the outset of Game 3 of Losers Finals here.
Defiant up 2 games to 0. Mr. B is getting some pretty big hits in, but Defiant is able to close out these rounds fairly convincingly regardless. He goes, oh no, he whips the VO strip. That is actually insane for Mr. B. He's going to want to burn as much time as possible on that VO meter if he can. Yep, all out a meter for Defiant. Mr. B has CS, but the freeze gets Defiant the cycle at the last second. Oh, no.
Dropped combo into picked up combo. Defiant slips in the CS there to get a little bit more meter, now nearly at that 100 meter barrier in order to push even further here. That means that you could see more C turret, or you could potentially just see what is it, usually like EX fireball follow-ups to things. Oh my god, Defiant really wants to bait out certain options for Mr. B here. Mr. B sitting very still, but look at that 5BB. Look at the Rekka. All of these are options to cover the space and just dare Mr. B to contest. Without that meter, Mr. B has no true reversal to get out of the corner in that instance.
Yeah, I like that Defiant is just baiting out potential green shields from Mr. B, and again, just really controlling the cycle very well. He has the life lead and timer in his favor, so yep, Fireball CS just spends the, well, gets whatever meter he can get, and then just wants Mr. B pinned in the corner. Oh, tries to backdash with Mr. B's play.
FFs to get over Defiant. Not going to be able to sideswap again, but gets their knockdown, ends early to concentrate, and the 5BB mash from Defiant will get them the cycle and enough meter to spend if they really want to run it. Turret throw could easily have killed in that instance there. Good block from Mr. B. Caught by the low Eureka extension, and that will be it for Losers Finals.
Wow. That was both very fast and also fairly slow paced given how often timer became a factor. Like I mentioned earlier, Londrekia is a character that doesn't care about opening you up after the first time, right? He wants to really leverage resource advantage in such a way that you open yourself up, whether that be through threat of timer or kind of the Rekka RPS that he can subject you to. But 27 seconds left on the clock, and I can already tell you, unless something drastic happened, Mr. B was not coming back in that round because Defiant was more than happy to just sit back, press 5B, press 5BB, you know, CS to make himself safe after a Rekka, and just not overcommit to anything. And Mr. B, you know, one more errant backdash, gets caught out by the same very Rekka, and that's going to be Losers Finals with a 3-0 for Defiant.
Yeah, I can't say this for super sure. I don't play Orie, but I'm wondering if in the instance again in the corner that showing a bit more purple shield and showing a bit more green shield in order to increase pushback on the 5BBs. I'm curious about what the effectiveness of that would be. Even to just get the 5BB part 2 with, if such a thing was more possible there, or to create the spacing in order to start dash blocking a bit more often. Because when Mr. B was caught in the corner at that spacing, they were unable to even straight up move, right? And I think Defi's presence was very good in terms of covering that space, but I'm curious to see if maybe Shield would have perhaps been able to kind of get them out of there. It's a tough call to make, especially when you are kind of feeling the momentum of the set there. So, you know, this isn't to like, you know, rag or be weird about it or anything like that. I'm just curious to see what the like situation looks like with that, because also very well Defi could try to special cancel into turret, or they could opt to just run up throw, and then if you're caught shielding Sanasu, it gets even worse, right?
Yeah, well, definitely.
I do want to shout out the codes before we go to grand finals. We still have a bunch left and more than enough people to finish claiming them. 27 codes left. The link is in chat. ! Match Arena works everywhere we're streaming. Just click the link, click the blue claim code button, put some free money into the pot, help these gamers out for showing up. I would really appreciate it. I know for a fact they would really appreciate it, but yeah, there's no reason not to do that. And the Pizza Hut quest is insane if you haven't done it already. It's literally visiting a link for 30 free cents. So between the two of them, you can just put like 55 free cents into the pot.
You want to know what else is a super easy quest? Literally following Imp. You know how happy I was when I saw that? I looked over and I said, oh wow, a Twitch channel that I already follow that already has multiple tournaments a week. If I just click this button, which I've already done before, I add even more to the pot. Easy money, dude. Easy money.
Yeah.
No.
Don't let the Mafia win, please. Use the Matcherino codes. And do the sponsor quest if you can. Really helps out a lot, and we really appreciate it. And I think a study was actually released recently. It says that people who use Matcherino codes are more likely to win brackets in Undernight. That was not scientifically proven, but it's positively correlated, let's say that. So
what's your source?
Quest completed. Thank you very much. Into this finals here. Defiant with the Forbidden One color. Looking to run it back against Low here. Gonna be pretty tough. He is coming from Loser's side. Oh, the second hit of 6B. Unfortunately, drops the combo. That 3C microdash is a bit difficult, especially in high-pressure situations like this. He has plenty of meter to gain with Cycle if he so chooses. A lot more patience from Defiant compared to earlier in Winners Finals we saw. Not really 6-6ing as often. I'm just going to stop talking. I'm just going to leave.
So I think one thing that's really important to note is, yeah, to kind of carry on. So in Winners Finals, Defiant lost to Low 3-2. And one of the things that we talked about very consistently throughout was the usage of 66C and 22B as some very strong tools for Hyde to contest at mid-range against Hilda in particular. And we saw a lot of round start situations in particular determined by it, and also insane situations like that where you're saying backdash 66C, backdash 66C. But it's just kind of interesting to note the not trepidation, I should say, but the lack of it coming out in certain instances, well, until a little bit later. So we'll see kind of how that layering or what have you sort of develops there. But don't be surprised if at like round start range that you start seeing some weird, like interesting or newer decisions being made there.
I like the Defiant's decision of just repeatedly assaulting, incentivizing Low to maybe do a 3B AD OS to try and anti-air him. Low not biting, and again, his patience is rewarded by a pretty big hit here. VO strip into 50-50 setup. Oh, never mind. Defiant 660's out. Oh, he wanted 660 again. That's so unfortunate. This is not the first time that's happened. He's gotten 5C instead of 660. And little interactions like that, little misinputs like that, especially in a matchup as volatile as this one, where really whoever's able to get consistent hits will carry it, is just going to be so important. Oh, I like the laser usage there. Calls out the skewer from Low. Drops the combo, unfortunate once again. Maybe 660 gets shield. VO whips!
No punish on it, however. Things are looking pretty dicey. No combo throw for Defiant in this instance here. However, Low is all out of meter. Tons of grid to use here, however. They're going to spend it on the CS to get themselves a lot of meter. And if they block out this situation decently, they will have VO available again, but it will be the 5A mashes instead that actually gets it done for the first game.
Defiant getting a good 2-2B hit, but wasn't quite in range for the confirm that he was going for on the 5C. And that's going to be Low with timer advantage and health advantage, right? Just being able to close it out with one more defensive interaction. Defiant once again. Oh no! 63B. If he blocked it, Low was plus. If he gets hit, Low is going to just do so much damage here. 3.4. Tricky mix up there. Blocks it out. Alright, that's the first CSDP we've really seen, because it's the first time that Defiant is A, not gotten hit by that kind of mix-up situation, and B, had CSDP after the follow-up pressure. Low, just, we're seeing this so often. His hits just matter more. Like, objectively speaking, his hits lead to more reward on both combo damage and the following situation here. We're seeing Defiant getting some hits, but any hit that Low gets with resources just is so punishing. And 6-6B to snipe out the 2-2B from Defiant is going to be tough. 6-6C! Alright, do you think Low is kind of gotten a beat on Defiant's kind of contest timing, or is, you know, neutral decision making with regards to those situations?
In some ways, however, oh boy, getting grid broken right there makes any sort of praise a little awkward in the moment. Not to say that they're doing poorly whatsoever here. I think that Low has been a bit more keyed into some of Defiant's habits, and they're feeling a lot more free to opt for some of these dive kicks, for instance, where they're at a range where, because they have already preempted their jump, they managed to get out of the 6-6C range already. I'm wondering if Defiant will opt to use a bit more 2-2B. I think that would hit a bit taller. That's what I would expect than the 6-6C. One other tool that we're seeing more frequently from Defiant has been the usage of the fireballs. Now, do you think, so could you explain, if you kind of have an idea already, what the usage of some of these EX fireballs are? Because we don't really see these as often beforehand.
Yeah, so a couple of things happen when the EX fireball gets used like that. For one, if Low blocks it on the ground, Defiant is incredibly plus if you just make a free approach. If it's blocked in the air, Defiant gets to kind of air unblockable with a grounded normal. But it also incentivizes...
Hold the phone, we are probably seeing a very big twist of fate here. That VIREX, I don't know if it kills, to be honest, but this is going to be the health advantage for Defiant. And as long as they can pressure Low long enough, they'll get it done. And because Low's reversal options are really tied down... Okay, hold on a second. Oh no, they didn't get their block input. They didn't get their block input. Oh my god. They just ate a skewer to the face. Jesus.
So that situation is kind of tough because you want the damage from the throw combo, but that IWEX not only does it grid break you, but it is extremely minus on hit. So Defiant has to run low all the way down through the entirety of the screen while low still has access to, you know, the cycle in a way. He can still play for it. And he can do skewer, he can do gloom, he can do pin, he can contest with any amount of buttons that he wants. And Defiant has to be correct because if he blocks, the chip damage will kind of invalidate that throw combo that he did because the life totals are so close and the timer is so low.
Well, that's true. I wasn't even thinking about that quite yet. Yeah, just the factor of just getting chipped through a string. That's nuts.
Yeah, it adds up, especially when the life totals are that close. Like, Gloom itself, you don't want to block Gloom for multiple reasons, but one of them is that it still does chip damage on top of everything else. So, not the best situation.
The 50-50s, you're getting chipped.
Yeah. On top of the 50-50s, even if you do guess correctly, you're still taking some chip damage, right?
Yeah.
So, just kind of messed up in general. Defiant, yeah, donating the cycle to low, but just wants to get him to his preferred range. Send him to the corner, kind of like he is now. Another guard thrust, but every time low is guard thrusted, they've been correct. I just want to point that out. He has been so successful by rotating his defensive options in such a way to keep Defiant guessing. Defiant, though, has, again, time is going to be a factor. Oh, that's huge. That is insane.
That's definitely gonna. That's the round right there. Actually, that is such a huge swing. It's really dangerous in certain instances to commit to the shield there due to the increased damage of a grid break combo. Right, you really want to play it a little bit safer there. Yes, they're going to be plus on the assault, but you just want to be kind of mindful on those situations. I'm wondering if maybe they got like an OS blown up, in fact. I'm curious to see if that was maybe 1AD or something else to prompt that low shield coming out.
I think that was probably a throw tech because the life totals, again, we're seeing these situations where the life differential is neck and neck. Any throw is the momentum shift as far as how you account for your neutral decision making is so extremely oppressive in these situations, especially when both these characters do not an insignificant amount of chip as previously discussed, where if low took that throw, it was not the best situation for him because Defiant can still aggress with, you know, meaty 6-6C and then play the chip damage situation out. So that was just a call out from Defiant going
oh my god,
layer. He's almost there.
Speaking of, yeah, we're just looking at Defiant on their very, very last legs, forced to block out all of these situations. Now, chip kills are not a thing in Uni, but it takes not but a stray hit in order to get it done here. Defiant brazenly moving past so many of Low's tools in order to get their offense started here. 10 seconds left on the clock. They get a throw started here. That's not going to be enough damage to even it out. Remember, they're dealing with just a ton of damage, but the throw connects. Oh my goodness, Sivo into the IWEX. They do not want to deal with any timer shenanigans. They want to clean it up. Last round for them in this game regardless. Defiant, just by the skin of their teeth, manages to crack open yet another game.
This time the IWEX kills.
Yeah.
This time it kills. I like the commitment of Assault J6C because he had to get a hit on low, and I also like the fact that he kept every combo short enough to where he was just resetting the pressure situation and just hammering away at those defensive options, and it paid off for him. He was able to stay alive in this grand finals here. Low go with a grid break. I like the slow fireball from Defiant, able to recover in time to block 623B, but unfortunately the 6-6C Gloom is already set down, and that's going to punish Defiant.
And in neutral, we've been seeing a lot more of those particular Gloom sets, where Low is opting for Gloom set to fire towards them. It looks like and that's like the only time it's actually cashed in for like a straight up punish, but it kind of reveals, right, that they've been really looking for these 6-6Cs and just opting to block in order to cover that space and give them room to back up.
Oh, meaty 6-6C, there it is. Alright. After throw, Hyde can meaty 6-6C, but if they delay tech, it's kind of awkward because now you're looking at 6-6C. Find it though, right on the meaty situation. Low tech's out, but
oh
no!
My, this is... Wait, what the... because Low was in the air from VO, the 660 didn't properly stagger. It does that on ground hit. That's why Low actually fell to the ground like that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Defiant, good awareness from him. Working on a perfect right now. Oh no, dive kick from Low. Doesn't have enough meter to make this truly threatening, but still, you don't want to get hit by that. From Hilda.
Oh goodness. Alright, this could be a little dicey. Honestly, if I'm Low, I'm just looking for situations where I could just get free CSs so I could go into the next round with more meter. Like, the CS there is fine, because you're now going into set point once again with 162 meter. That is nothing to scoff at if you're Hilda. Like, that is so good to have. EX Gloom set right there opens up with the usage of the meter there, and they're not going to necessarily be able to secure cycle, but they do have yet another 100 meter to work with coming in here. Tries to go for the dive kick right there. The backwards movement's going to make sure that they lose the cycle in that instance. Anti-dispersion comes out right there in order to get the plus frames. We've seen Low do that in the past. They haven't been doing it as frequently. Just barely out of range for DP. A tragedy that we have not seen all set. Jesus.
Yeah, that... It's not, like, completely disjointed. There's, like, a small...
They weren't there for the hit confirm. They get caught by the fireball, surprisingly, after the gloom set here. Oh, punish the recovery frames of the skewer. That's what happened here. This is looking very, very different. This could potentially swing the entire set based off of that one non-hit confirm there. This is rough.
That was a lot of meter for ballsy 2C no cancel into throw from Defiant, but he is just, again, trying to overload Low's mental stack, throwing as many options at him as possible. Another throw. This is timer situation. Yeah,
13 seconds left on the clock, trying to keep it plus. No! The assault JA connected, and then they just assault J2C right afterwards.
I'm speechless. I'm kind of speechless after that. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Defiant
tough.
makes one correct guess into running the entire round and game back.
Mind you, Low had like a couple of opportunities there, but because they were just under 100 meter, Defiant did not need to worry about veil off whatsoever. So that was just a complete non-factor, and it is part of what allowed them to make those bold decisions to open up Low to begin with here. That ICFF is doing massive chip damage right here to Low. Whips the purple shield on the Pogo, but all is not lost until they get hit once more.
Yeah, Low missed an opportunity to at least take their turn back after the Pogo whiffed completely. Just not quite ready for it. Defiant looking pretty happy about that. Called out a potential up back dive kick because Low has been doing that more and more. But no dice. Low gets out of the corner with the teleport. Milestone function. Oh no! Alright, this is Hilda time right now. Probably gonna build just enough meter. Yep, goes for this 50-50. Alright, this is gonna be a potential guess for game scenario actually. Neo strip, gloom, keep you pinned down. Yep, that's gonna be another overhead, and that's gonna be not quite the round, but this...
Oh no, is this gonna be another tragedy in the making? I'm curious. Yes, it will be. You mashed on the ICFF, but then the 2A, I think the second one didn't connect?
I think so too, but... Oh man, this is not spaghetti, but it's penne pasta. You know, it's kind of scrambled.
I was really trying to find like another like macaron, whatever the heck it's called. Thank you. That was actually really apt. This is looking a little crazy here. Seeing a lot of up back JAs from Low, but that's going to remove so much grid from them, I feel like. And getting clipped by the 5B, it looked like, in that situation here is not going to make it ideal for them. The green shield on the J2C will, at the very least, make sure that they have cycle here, but to what end, truly?
Yeah, I like the fact that Low is still forward teching when Defiant is just keeping these combos short, but alright, there you are, DO.
There. You're spending potentially the rest of your meter, and if you don't win this round, you go into round 3 with 0 meter to work with, so this could be very, very tough for Low here. Skewers in order to catch the concentrate, which actually nets them the cycle, funny enough. Just raw teleport into the ICJC, in fact, here. And now suddenly that gamble, it's looking like it's paying off currently. Has a chance to CS, gets a lot more meter, immediately spends it. Skewer to eliminate the projectile. Glick Dust from Defiant jumps over the Palebringer hero. Jumps over the fireball. No, not there with the IC 5C. This is tough. This is tough. Oh my god. Defiant just barely with not but a second on the clock. Defiant punches their ticket into set point here. Both players are looking so poised to take this initial set here. If Defiant takes this, that means one more set with all of these, and it's looking like we might move towards that future.
Defiant's finally rotated 6-6C back.
Oh my! How many more fireballs? How many more fireballs? It's looking like Street Fighter. Fireball into DP. I see FF connecting here. This is surely death. No drops. In fact, Defiant has taken the first set of Grand Finals. We are looking at a reset in a Game 5 situation.
To be so close and yet to have to be reset on. Low is not happy, I guarantee it.
Yo.
One errant mash after the plus frame situation on Defiant's assault to Defiant reverse. Oh man.
This is giving me... Oh,
that sucks. That just sucks. I'm sorry.
Yo.
Alright.
If I'm low, I'm going to grab some water.
You going to grab some water?
Defi went to go grab water.
Oh, Defi went
Yeah.
to grab water. I'm grabbing water. I'm going to think about what could work next, and then I am moving forward.
Yeah.
One thing that was really crazy to note in that very last interaction, now, if you're kind of looking at it, looking at Hyde click 2 fireballs in a row and just doing actions would make you think, Jesus Christ, what is going on here? But it's really important to highlight the way that Defi actually set up low for failure there. So consider this, right? Low's option that got punished properly was the up back into dive kick here. Low, of course, had the option to VO. I believe they had just about 118 meter, if I'm remembering properly here. But due to the way that Defi is structuring their offense in a way that feels quite belligerent, right? The up back on the fireball makes sense. But if Low jumps back early enough in the fireball, Defi can whiff cancel into EXDP. If Low is a bit late and still up backs anyway, either A, they get clipped by the fireball and they are jailed, or the resulting interaction that we saw on stream happens here. So it was pretty nuts for Defi to set up Low by showing something so absurd and prompting that out of Low to begin with. It's really cool looking, to be frank. It could very well be Defi saying, I just want to do this, but like the kind of inner mechanics of messing with the player's mental is very much so on full display with just that interaction there. Jesus Christ, Low is pressing buttons as we are exploding into our next set of true Grand Finals.
I'm trying to do 6-2-3-B. Oh, 6-6-C into 6-6-C. Defiant just takes some damage there. So an unfortunate thing about autopilot 6-6-C in the force function is that yes, you get damage, but it does send them pretty much full screen. So you do get some like 2,000 something damage on them. But Low is able to kind of get back where exactly he wants to be. But if Defiant is able to weather this storm, he might have actually been able to do Palebringer there, which just maybe was not quite ready on the trigger because he CS'd into just nothing. Kind of wants to maintain the meter for the fireball. Oh, laser. Oh no, he drops it. That angle was kind of awkward for him to confirm at, so...
He whiffs, but we are truly well indeed playing footsies at full screen. Jesus Christ. The backdash on the normal coming out from Low, just a 6-6-C punish once again. We're seeing a resurgence of a tool once thought used a little less based on the prior sets here. 10 seconds left on the clock. All Defi needs is to keep themselves plus, but hell, killing them outright is even better.
Yeah, I like Defiant's patience on that last knockdown situation from Low. Lets Low whiff the button because Low is like, oh, he's just gonna run at me immediately, right? But because he waited, he was able to just secure that round super easily at the end of the match. So good stuff from Defiant. Low though, good shield from Defiant on the aerial approach there. Has CS available, might opt for a guard thrust or a VO depending on whether he wants to use CS or not. There it is, guard thrust. I love the timing on that actually. That timing was so good because it allows him to win the subsequent cycle and confirm the situation like he did right now. That was incredibly smart play from Low defensively. Guard thrusting, again, all of them have hit so far. He's very comfortable using that in those defensive situations and punishing Defiant for overextending his pressure. Guard thrust for Defiant. Says, if you're doing it, why not me? Finally, Anti-Air has a dive kick, but unfortunately no follow-up combo. That is tragic. Crosses up with the J2C when Low tries to contest 3B AD from Low. I think Low is starting to really, again, get more of a bead for Defiant's timings. As I say that, he does another laser and confirms the combo this time. Do you think Defiant is more content to just rotate between 660 and Fireball, or do you think he's more apt to just immediately start doing Fireball?
Oh my god, he's dead. Okay, to kind of latch on this, I think it's a matter of spacing. At full screen, Defiant's been using a lot more 236A in particular to set themselves up in situations where they can run behind it, it'll eat the skewer, or they can just kind of like dash and crouch to kind of get under the skewer as well. And the other advantage of throwing out the Fireball is the EX cancels into laser. We've been seeing them come out a lot more since Low is trying to use some of these dive kicks at very large ranges. So when Defiant is far apart from there, they can opt for either... They can use the Fireball to cover their approach, or if they have meter, they can still spend it in order to get a laser punish. So it's more so a matter of spacing and kind of where they're at. When Defiant's a little closer, the 236As are much less viable, as Hilda has tools like 66C or 66B in order to punish it accordingly. Big drop here coming in from Low, but they're able to secure the first game of a reset. It's really big, especially when you're sitting on winner side Grand. You want to make sure that any momentum that your opponent has is cut off.
Right. Absolutely. Defiant trying to wake up 660 there. I mean, Button's real good, but Low able to recover in time and enforce the meaty knockdown situation and take game one. Defiant's making a lot of correct decisions, but I think in the haste and pressure of the matchup, just getting a little ahead of himself, just slightly though. I think he had a good kind of momentum dialed in as far as game 3. But
there it is. So I want to talk about that interaction a little bit. We've been seeing more IC5Cs come out from Low, and Defi feels increasingly prepared for them. The last IC5C that came out from Low, outside of a combo, was completely green shielded and swung the cycle more in Defi's favor. What? You are matching on these FFs, and honestly, Low is more correct on all of these matches. There it is once again, right? We're seeing the EX cancels into lasers. So many situations in which Defiant's able to contest with most of Hilda's full screen options, and the EX cancel allows Hyde to punish further, in fact.
Okay, round start 2-2A. Good stuff from Defiant, and this is going to be further momentum shifting in his favor. Low Orie in the corner, blocks the VO. Okay, this is massive actually. He's able to finish this combo. This is insane damage and reward. No,
you cursed it.
Out.
You cursed it. You cursed it.
I did curse it. I'm sorry.
You specifically said if he's able to finish the combo, and that's when I knew it was cooked.
He didn't get super punished there because Low ran out of meter just in time, but getting hit like that in neutral is not where you want to be in this matchup. Boom the cover, and that's going to be Low option from Low. Funny how that works. It's going to be Defiant in the corner. Complete role reversal from last round, and that's going to be death. That Ender, by the way, does so much damage because she's not, getting a strong mix-up, but I hate that so much. Can I just say, I hate that so much that you can just do the button again and then it still hits like that. I'm sorry, my bias is showing, but like that, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. Okay, nice, good visual confirmation. C660 whip from Hilda and immediately 660s. Defiant. Okay, I like the awareness from Defiant. Sees that he used up all of his ground bounces there and just maintains neutral positioning. Unfortunately, is out of meter. Grid break in effect, and Low is going to be able to get some favorable neutral positioning here. Good shields from Defiant, but Low still has CS to work with. As I say that, 66B gets once again punished by 66C. Just like that. Makes the 2A with. There's another one. 66C.
Well, 5C repeats here. I don't know the frame data on that off the top of my head, but it's setting up situations where Low really does not feel comfortable in mashing. Again, I think that Defiant's
Just barely moving. Defiant's ability to weave in and out of some of these situations is nuts.
like it. The Hyde backdash is very good, and it makes it even easier to play at that. But just the understanding of like spacing and maneuvering out of there was so beautiful there. I think we're gonna return to room and probably remake the room right there with giving a little bit of slowdown going on there.
Yeah, Defiant just knows the neutral spacing of 66B so well and is able to engineer scenarios where if Low presses that button, yes, it's very fast, and yes, it covers a lot of space, but the dead zones, both in and outside of the range of that button, just allow Hyde to get a free 660 punish, and that's what we saw right there. Just Defiant. 660 after 660, most of them landed either clipping Low out of the sky or just crumpling him to the ground for a follow-up combo completely. And yeah, that's going to be another game for him.
Jesus. This set's been nuts, dude. What is Tom, is there anything that you in particular like or in particular hate that's happened aside from that Hilda interaction that we maybe will not speak of, depending on how you feel?
It's hard to say because I feel like they're overall playing the matchup very well. It's just that when Low is getting hit by 66C, he's getting hit by 66C a lot, right? He's just letting Defiant, not letting him, but, is allowing him to get these hits more often than not. And as we've seen so far, if he plays the neutral slower, he's able to force kind of timer scam situations almost and, is able to leverage a life lead that he's got. But unfortunately, he's just eating a lot of these stray 6-6-Cs and making it that much harder for him to come back in the round. If he VOs, yes, it's strong, but if Defiant blocks it, depending on the round, it's just terrible for him because he not only loses the round, but loses all that meter. Him guard thrusting worked a lot more than it didn't, but if he's donating the cycle and getting hit by 6-6-Cs like that as often as he is, then yeah, it's not going to be a good time for him. But what is a good time, while we're waiting for this, is going to be Matcherino codes. You know what I'm saying? The Mafia's still out there. We still need your help. We need Pizza Hut deals as well. Use that link to get some, visit the site, get some extra money into the pot. Really helps us out. We've got 18 of 50 remaining. Really kind of unfortunate, I need my memes. I need my JPEGs. I need them real bad. But, Towito, what is your favorite Matcherino story? Do you have one off the top of your head?
Matcherino stories?
Yeah, like...
I guess the closest I could get to that is I remember so specifically during the major part of lockdown when BlazBlue rollback hit, and there was like a super huge series of tournaments. And there was like a 50%, there was like a small percentage for like every tournament that I would look at where DGF would randomly just throw in $100 in the bracket. And you would randomly see this like $10 bracket suddenly become like almost randomly high stakes out of nowhere where it's this is literally pizza money now all of a sudden, or this is like $40. This will get me like a couple of meals for a few days, just like out of the cut. So that's probably my favorite stuff there.
And it's always like right before top 3, so it's like...
you're like, okay, like, I had fun in this online bracket.
You see the pot size suddenly like inflate, and you're like, yeah, I guess it was what it was.
Yeah, I think that happened to one of our BlazBlue brackets too. I think it was one of the last ones. I think it was EGF. Just put like $50 in there randomly. I think it was bigger than that, actually. I'd have to go check our previous ones. But yeah, there was just one tournament that randomly was like $200 for no particular reason.
And you're just like,
whoa,
like,
whoa.
I'm like, yeah, like I see that happen. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ! All right, like there's low-key some stakes here. Normally, like oftentimes on comms, I don't like kind of point that out because I think sometimes that can create like weirder dynamics. But when I'm spectating, I'm like, this is amazing. When I was spectating, I'm like, this is so funny because now like I'm looking at a situation where whether hopefully the players are aware and that just leads to something goofy happening where they're like, oh my god, this is now a big deal.
Now he will try, you know.
Yeah, like that kind of like people now, yeah, they were playing a sub for a little bit and now they're immediately on mains.
Yeah. My favorite part is the people who will still Astral, like with that in the pot. And I know, Astral is optimal more often than not, but sometimes the Astrals whiff. Right, and it's like, oh no!
The Astrals whiff. It's a time. Like there are certain instances, for example, where it's like, okay, I'm playing against Suzuno. He has like high health. Like, yeah, okay, the Astral will just kill here. It's easy to do, especially if you're literally Suzuno or Naoto, where you just like click an A normal and then you immediately input Astral and they die because it combos from A normals, but stuff like that. Yeah, Naoto can just do 5 AA Astral and that just connects. But yeah, those situations are funny, and I will say like the equivalent of that for Uni is like a lot of IWEX scenarios where you look at an IWEX not killed, 2 seconds left on the clock, and it's like, this is very awkward. We actually saw that earlier, funny enough, with the IWEX that Defiant did. Was that winners or grands?
I think that was. I can't remember. I think that was winners. I could be incorrect, but I think that was winners. Where it was like 7 seconds left on the clock. He IWEX'd and Lo has like barely more health than he does. So he just books it right to where.
Oh yeah, that was winners. That was winners.
And just like you just see a skewer just like kill Hyde, and it's like
yeah. Like, well, you got me, you know.
It's like yeah.
Grand set 1 game 2. Chat would like you guys to know.
Oh, see.
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah. That was reverse. That was the Uno reverse card, I think.
Yeah.
That happened both for Defiant and against Defiant, and there was just one set between them in this bracket alone. Now, Toledo, what do you think? Sorry. Well, we're all sorry. Impurest.
Oh, I was just telling. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do 2 things actually while we wait for Lo to come back. First, I'm gonna shout out Crossover Arc in March. Well, I still have people here.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're pairing up with Lunar Phase again, 3rd year in a row, March 22nd through 24th. I know that seems to be the weekend that every single major company decided they were going to run something, but we decided on it before they announced, and we're locked in because of the venue. So, so come out. It'll be a blast. We're going to have 5-man games. Uni 2, both Melties, Lumina and Current Code. Rising and Strive are going to be our 5 main games, and then we already have side brackets confirmed for Plus R, Exerd, and KOF 15. So if you play those games, come out. All of our main games are going to have a minimum $1,000 pot bonus, on top of course, like entries and everything else. But you never know. I've got some milestones in mind that if we hit them for especially Uni, you might see that pot number kind of explode. So definitely come out if you're able to. It's a blast. It's a ton of fun. 22nd through the 24th of March next year.
If you ever wanted to meet the best TO in the northeastern, region, come to Crossover Arc, and ImpurestClub will be there.
The PS5 man himself.
Yeah, the PS5 man himself. I really do want to commission an artist to just have Impurest drawn as an Arc Knights character. I know Garma and I talked about this before, but
wait, this is a alright. I was assuming it would be like Imp walking out of like a subway with multiple PS5s, like
or mysterious. But it'll be like
not just said Arc Knights, and that's just a complete like.
Have you seen the picture?
Yeah, it'll be 4-star
Yeah, I've seen the picture you
four-star
like,
Manhattan or whatever, and it'll be, Impurest with like 5 PS5s, like Death Stranding. He'll just have them stacked up on top of his bag, just behind his bag, balancing, like Mr. Kojimbo wanted, and it's just gonna be like some weird Junie nonsense as the descriptor, like the Eternal Sentinel of high-quality hardware, stands against the tide.
That's
of
pretty good.
Delay-based netcode, This lone warrior is preventing player-based death by providing PS5s at all physical events. Praise be, and then there's like the stat line's like 420 health, 69 ability points or whatever, something stupid like that. But I don't have money, so if any enterprising artists want to do that for us for free, no payment whatsoever except for exposure maybe, then please do. You'll have my blessing, and that's all you really need. So, yeah. Towito, what's your favorite gacha game? Now that we're on this topic,
I don't play gacha games.
you don't play gacha? Okay.
Dude, Towito's smart with his money.
I don't play
Okay.
that. Spending money on food, but in terms of gachas, I don't play any gachas.
Okay.
I have long determined that if looter shooters are not my thing, gachas are probably not there.
Okay, that's fair. If there was an alternate timeline where the Blaze Blue gacha game was still around, would you be playing that?
No.
No? Wow.
I
okay.
would look at the lore videos and be like, neat, and then that would probably be it. I don't know. It's just this is not for me. That's all.
I guess that's fair.
Oh my, are we going back to park?
Yeah,
Wow.
back to park, baby.
Back to park. Okay, okay. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm just curious about the round start. I think it's okay. I think it's gonna be like an up back from low, and Defi just like walks back. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'll put my money in.
Putting respectful neutral. All right. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, they're still testing connection. Okay. I mean, you were half right.
Yeah, so it's not the connection. It looks like Lowe's computer just completely died and can't run Uni.
I see.
So we tried restarting it, giving it a minute and stuff, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to finish, unfortunately.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna hold my tongue because I want to say something toxic about Hilda players, but I will not. I will refrain. So we'll just have to say this was a unfortunate circumstances.
You have
preventing
like
the resolution.
subplots of like you with the mafia, and then like the like running thread being like Hilda players, but it's like sprinkled in really like really smartly, so it's like every 45 minutes to be like Hilda players.
Yeah.
And then like moving forward.
I've kept it pretty tame. I think. The biggest one was the JC canceling into itself and hitting like that.
That was goofy.
I've gotten hit by that so many times.
That was just goofy. Yeah. No, I feel that 100%. Yeah. Things just happen.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's all right.
Well, thank you to everybody who came out and watched. I'm sorry it kind of had to end this way due to technical difficulties. Definitely not what we expected. But good stuff, Defi. Taking another one. I don't even know how many Defis won at this point. For upcoming Undernight events, I think we're gonna run next week and then just take a couple weeks off for the holidays, because the following ones are Christmas Eve and then like the 31st. So I think we're gonna take 2 off, and then when we come back with January, I want to run a series of stuff that's not just double a limb. I want to run one last double a limb clear bracket as like a big send off, but before that I want to run just probably exhibition formats in some way, shape, or form, just since it's the last month before Uni 2. It's going to drop at the end of January. So we'll have one more normal open bracket. We'll have a couple weeks off, just holidays and stuff, and I'm going to be planning those exhibitions. Then we'll probably run 2 exhibitions, one big clear send-off, and yeah, then it'll all be Uni 2, which is wild because it's coming up.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so many
That's
new
gonna be
games.
insane.
Oh, if you guys also play Grand Blue, you bought it on PlayStation, you want to join an early access bracket, we are running one on Wednesday because the game fully drops on Thursday, and it didn't make sense to try and run versus the day before it came out. So we're running an early access bracket. It is PlayStation only because that's the only way to get early access. But if you're buying the game on PlayStation and you want to join, the link is in chat. But yeah, those are my announcements. Do you guys have anything you want to shout out before I send people somewhere?
I'll let you go first, Mr. Weedo.
Oh, sure. So for the Boston Blue Beat side of things, if you happen to be in the New England area, we will also be running a Grand Blue versus Rising bracket on Saturday. So this will be 2 days after the game drops. So if you want to get your first weekend tournament and cheese people with all the new mechanics and maybe Grimnir, that is probably going to be your time. Amongst a couple of other things, we're going to have Tekken, we're going to have BlazBlue, we're going to have Guilty Gear. We have a ton of matches around there, of course. And then tomorrow and then on Tuesday, if you guys like playing BlazBlue or like watching BlazBlue, then we at Boston Blue Beat will be running our online brackets for Guilty Gear Plus R on Tuesday and BlazBlue Central Fiction on Monday, respectively, at 8 p.m. over on twitch.tv/Boston Blue Beat. So be sure to check those out if you guys are interested in that. And if you don't want to play that, then you should totally multi-stream because Imp is running MBTL at that same time. So hey, maybe do that. That's probably the big brain play. Most of the time, we usually end up rating Imp or
vice versa.
Yeah, or vice versa towards the end. So feel free to come along for that or multi-stream, whatever you guys want to do. Yeah, that's kind of the major stuff that I can talk about for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great thing about multi-streaming is that, you have more Matcherino codes to claim per stream that you open, right? So we still have some Matcherino codes remaining here somehow, and possibly there must be like a tear gas leak or something in all of your homes. I don't know why, the Mafia is using tear gas instead of just, shooting you or whatever. But please use the codes or else the Mafia will win. I need my JPEGs, please. And on Monday, you'll be able to claim 2 codes. I don't know what the Mafia will be doing at that time. I haven't asked their HR person yet, but I assume they'll still be active. So please use the codes there as well. As far as personal shilling is concerned, Godzilla -1 is still in theaters until the 14th of this month, and I'm going to go see it pretty soon. So I anticipate that will be incredible, and if you want more high-quality film action, please go see it also as well at your local theater. You can, maybe procure it illegally. I can't speak for that. Please don't, support your foreign Nihongo gamers, as it were, and see Godzilla -1 like I am shortly. But beyond that, that's all I got, sir.
Then I'm going to send everybody at Kikoho for some Lumina.
Nice.
And yeah, maybe see some of you guys tomorrow for Lumina here. See ya.
Later.